Hey guys, Ethan Studios here, and welcome on into this completely unscripted and completely updated look at every LEGO Ninjago minifigure ever made. Yes, that is correct. We're looking at every LEGO Ninjago minifigure that's ever been made, starting all the way back in 2011 with the pilot figures and going up now until the current wave, which is July 2024 with Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2. So, according to some very rough math I did, there is about 650 LEGO Ninjago minifigs that we're going to be taking a look at today. Starting over here on the right, we have the pilots all the way up to Season 6. And then the big addition to this video that you'll notice, besides all of the new figures over there, is that I added in all of the LEGO Ninjago movie minifigs. There are about 80 of them that I added in. They weren't in the last collection video because I didn't feel like they were relevant, but all of you very much wanted to see them here, so I went and bought all of them. We've got Season 7 all the way back to Hunted, and then over here we start with Legacy, move all the way back to Crystallize, finish up Crystallize over here, and then all the way back with all of the brand new Dragons Rising. These have never been showcased in the past video because they didn't exist yet. So there is quite a bit to cover today. And before we do go ahead and get into that, there is one thing I do want to clarify. According to Brickset, there are exactly 835 Ninjago minifigures. However, that is just completely inaccurate. The way Brickset documents minifigs is by how unique they are. So a minifig like this obviously counts as a unique minifig, but what LEGO will do sometimes is we'll get like a foil pack or a poly bag, or maybe Kai has a different mask piece. And they'll count this as a completely new and unique minifigure, and of course that's just not the case. All of these parts already existed, so they do not count, and that's why I'm not counting them. So about 650 unique Ninjago minifigures that we're going to be taking a look at today. Of course, the big update is all of the Ninjago movie stuff, along with Dragons Rising. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and take all these base plates off the table, and let's start over here at the very beginning. Real quick, before we fully delve into this, I want to remind you all that this video is very long and it is completely unscripted, so I will inevitably be making some mistakes along the way. So feel free to comment those down below, correct me, and we can both have a good laugh about it together. But fully delving into this, we are starting out all the way back in 2011 with the main 4 Ninja here. This was when the team was just 4 Ninja. This was back when Cole was the leader of the team back 13 years ago, in 2011, of course. Really wild times. Things have changed so much. Now, alongside these minifigs here, we had 2 pilot episodes that released, and then we would eventually go into the seasons here. These Ninja are very plain, very basic, but I think that's a lot of the charm. And that's why people look back on them so fondly. These are the original face prints. All of them are quite angry. You don't really see any smiles until later on. But it makes sense because they are ninja. They are going to be battling. They're not going to be smiling while they're doing that. The mask pieces that they use here are actually from the late 90s Ninja subline of Castle. There was a subline of sets that was literally just called Ninja, and they reused these Ninja mask pieces for them. Of course, these would be changing 1 year later in the next wave of sets. But I really like that the beginning of this theme started with these mask pieces here. And then, of course, if we move over real quick to over here, we have alternate versions of the Ninja that came in the wave. These are the DX suits, Dragon Extreme. And these look really, really nice. I love the reflective gold printing on there. And then the best part about these is that they actually did have back printing because, of course, the other ones did not. And it just has their name on the back. I really, really like that inclusion. It's just a better way to kind of signify who is who, and it's a good way for kids to learn their names. But moving back over here with the 4 main Ninja out of the way, we've got Nia here. Now, of course, it would be quite a long time before Nia finally got some good character development and became a ninja, but this is her beginning days. I love this face print with the mask around her mouth. This was before we got the actual mask pieces that go over and that can be removed. That was going to be more towards rebooted era, which is 2 years later. But I love the print here. Her alternate face is pretty generic, but again, it's a good, just kind of angry, fighting face. I love these reflective phoenix symbols. This would later tie in with Samurai X, but a really solid figure overall. No back torso printing. Again, this was 2011. Things have changed a lot. We have this OG Master Wu minifig here. Pretty solid. I like it. The detailing is very minimal, but I think it works. He does have back torso printing, which is very much appreciated. Really just a great character that stuck with the show for a long time now, and I believe his beard piece was brand new at the time. Of course, we already looked at all of these DX Ninja here, which means we're moving on to one of the best Master Wu figures of all time. In fact, it was so great, they remade it for Legacy. It's this dark black suit, and it looks great if you make a custom Young Wu minifig, which a lot of people have done with this. Again, this suit is just fantastic. Look at that golden dragon print on the back that just reflects under the light. Just, again, an all-timer Master Wu suit, and quite frankly, an all-timer Ninjago minifig. I remember this one being included in a spinner as well as a set. Really good figure. And then we have the big baddie himself, the original villain for Ninjago, Lord Garmadon. And much like these ninja hood pieces being reused from the ninja subline of sets, they reused this samurai piece, or the helmet. My mistake. This was the last time we would see this helmet in Lego, I believe. I believe the mold just went out of rotation because they replaced it in the next wave of sets, which we will get to, of course. But a really simplistic minifig, but just a great way to start things. I love Garmadon as a character and as a minifig. This was just a great figure. Moving on, we've got all of these skeletons here. And of course, we've got the best skeleton himself, Samukai, which, by the way, it is an absolute crime that this minifig has not been remade since 2011. Man, and he's been featured in Ninjago media. He came back for Day of the Departed. They didn't throw him in any Legacy sets, even though they threw in remakes of these kind of crappier skeleton minifigs. Everyone wants Samukai. I don't know why Lego won't bring him back. I know they don't have this mold anymore, but they could always make a new one, because this right here, in my opinion, is a top 10 of all-time Ninjago minifig. I love how the mouth opens up like that. Makes for really fun play. This mold here is quite complicated. I mean, this is all just one piece if you take the arms off, of course, but it looks so, so good. I love the spinal cord kind of draping down on the back. Samukai is such a great Ninjago minifig, and it was the beginning of many, many four-armed characters in Ninjago. Samukai started the trend. Everyone that followed was just copying him because he's a legend. Maybe not the greatest character, but one of the greatest minifigs? Most definitely. Now, here's where we start getting into my mistakes, because I'm going to be messing up the names of some of the characters along the way. I know we have Cruncha and Knuckle, these two here. I'm pretty sure this is Knuckle and this is Cruncha. Again, I might be wrong. But these two were huge goofs in the show. They were always messing around. They were kind of the comedy relief. I really like these guys. Love these molded skeleton heads that they got. Looks really good. Again, a lot of these pieces were just very, very exciting for 2011 because we hadn't seen the amount of love and passion that Lego put into this theme for any other theme at the time. And I think that's part of why Ninjago became so successful. Love the crack in the skull on the side too. I mean, the molding here is just absolutely exceptional for these head pieces. And then I believe this one here is Whiplash, my favorite thing about him. He has a little worm peeking out on his skull there. And if you look closely, the worm itself even has a face. I'll try and zoom in on the editing software here to show you that. But very, very cool figure. Again, another great molded headpiece there. And then we have all kind of the generic skeleton baddies over here. These guys, again, are all reuse of pieces except for the armor, and then these legs with the boots on them, those were new, just to give them more of a clothed look, because if you use the classic skeleton legs, they just kind of look weird and naked. So I appreciate that they went the extra mile with these guys here. As far as generic baddies go, I really appreciate kind of the deviation here. Normally we'd get like 10 of the same minifig, but these guys are all different. Makes them feel more unique, more grounded in reality. So really solid villain minifigs here. Such a great way to start the show. And then the last minifig we have for the 2011 wave of sets is a new addition. I got a couple comments about this one as well. It's just a bowling dummy. It came in one of the training sets. Someone said I should include it. In fact, multiple people did. So I went ahead and included it. I don't know. I think these pieces are not exclusive to the Ninjago theme. I think they've been made before, but it's still technically a minifig, so it's here. Now, we're going to be getting into 2012, which is the beginning of one of the greatest eras of Ninjago. I mean, the minifigs, the sets, everything was absolutely incredible. And this is where my core memories of the show itself start to kind of be brought to the front. This is where I really got invested in Ninjago, is in 2012. Lego had a huge marketing campaign with all the snakes. I remember reading the magazines. Really, really good childhood memories for me here, and that's a reason that these figures are some of my favorites. So, of course, I'm going to bring Cole over here because he's all the way on the other side. These are the ZX suits here, Zen Extreme. And these, still, to this day, some of the best suits we've ever gotten. They introduced these brand new mask pieces, which would be used and changed along the line, but these kind of laid the foundation for how modern Ninjago masks would work. I love this little armor detailing up on top, and I love the deviation in color. Cole and Jay get silver, Kai and Zane get gold. I think my biggest issue is that Jay's arm is light gray. I think they really could have done, maybe not a drum lacquered silver, but a gunmetal gray perhaps. Would have just looked better because in the show, his arm is actually silver. But these minifigs look incredible. I love the detailing on the torso. It's very minimalistic, but it feels real. Like this armor plating on the side, the little shuriken sitting there, the strap. Like these feel like real characters that could exist. And I think that's part of why they look so good. And of course, the other new thing was this brand new armor piece, which could actually fit 2 swords in the back, whereas the original Ninja head wrap could only fit the 1. So I absolutely adore that with these, and they look really good, kind of bulks them up a bit more, makes them look a bit more intimidating. And of course, we're still sticking with these same original face prints, which is good, helps maintain consistency. All right, moving on, we've got Nia here as Samurai X. Absolutely loved this reveal in the show. It was spoiled by the toys with the face print, but who cares? Samurai X is awesome. This is the new helmet mold that replaced this original samurai helmet mold, and this would be used going forward for the theme. Nia did get a new face print. She actually has an angry face here, which, to be quite honest, doesn't really look like Nia to me. I mean, her lipstick just kind of disappears. So a little bit strange there, but still nice to get an angry expression for her. This here, this armor piece is not new. This, again, is from the OG Ninja subline. So interesting to see it reused here when they replaced the helmet mold, but I'm not complaining. It's very nice looking. And then, like I mentioned earlier, that Phoenix symbol is back on her torso there. And of course, all of the back printing is something new for the theme. We didn't get very much of it back in 2011, and it's not really going to go away. I think from here on, there are very, very few minifigs that don't have back printing, if any at all. So Nia looks great as Samurai X. We got a brand new Master Wu. He's got more dragons on his torso this time. I love that, the little dragons. A little bit updated on the leg printing, looks a little more detailed. And then the back, they went for minimalistic, which I think looks absolutely phenomenal. Now, moving on to the brand new character for season 1 of the show after the pilots, who had changed the show forever. We've got Lloyd Garmadon, son of Lord Garmadon. This is him as a kid here. Again, this newer cape piece here I really like. Dual-faced head. And I'm eating my own words because he doesn't have a back print, and I said everyone going forward did. But we're going to ignore that. I like this figure here. I like how he pretends to be Garmadon. The 5 on his torso, for those that didn't know, was actually a very subtle hint that he would be the Green Ninja and the 5th Ninja to join the team of 4. So really cool subtle hint that no one really recognized back in the day, but I look back on it very fondly. And then we have Lloyd in a ZX suit to match along with the rest of the team. Of course, he was a kid when he first got it, but he did get the aging potion, so he did become a little more grown up when he eventually had that. This suit is incredible. This is the best of the ZX suits. Interesting how he has the silver printing on the mask, but they gave him darker shoulder pads. I think that is the right decision. But just really interesting. I think it works well, though. And his symbol on the back, I find to be quite fascinating. It's just a snake. The other ninja all had their elemental symbols, but his is a snake, which could be kind of just a hint towards his working with the Serpentine in Season 1. But again, this is one of the most sought-after Ninjago minifigs of all time. And it's for a reason. This one is incredible. Moving on, we've got probably some of the weirdest suits we ever saw. These are the Kendo training suits. These have the OG samurai armor, much like Nia did. And then we get these new Kendo training helmets, which would be used down the line as well. I love them. But what's really strange is that it's just a reuse of the Season 1 torso and legs. They didn't put the ZX armor underneath them. Kind of strange to be throwing this in the same wave as the ZX suits. But I really do appreciate that they exist because, of course, they trained in this Kendo armor in the show. And that's kind of what's supposed to be, is they just threw it on over their original suits, of course. And then we get to, I keep saying every suit is the best. I guess I just really like Ninjago minifigs. They almost never miss. These are the NRG suits, or Energy. These are incredible. I mean, the unique colors here, baby blue for Zane, pink for Cole. We would never see this kind of stuff again. The masks have a little bit of their elemental powers printed onto them, and then they have some incredible face prints underneath. The elemental power just looks like it's exploding out of them. It looks so, so good. These are some of the rarest Ninjago minifigs. Energy J here is infamous in the community. I think he's the second most expensive. He's getting close to, he's around $60, $70, $80 right now, which is kind of insane for a minifig. But again, he was very rare, very hard to find back in the day, and even harder to find now. So I'm very happy to have him in my collection. These guys look great. I don't think we'll ever get, you know, kind of powered up energy suits that look as good as these do, because they stick with one color and they make it look great. The other ones would kind of deviate, mess around with the legs, choose different colors. Nothing will ever live up to these original NRG suits right here. Now we get on to probably the most iconic villains from Ninjago, the snakes. And much like many things before, we would be seeing snakes for a very, very long time in Ninjago. Just in different variations, forms. But right here we have, again, the Snake Generals. These guys are incredible, very sought after as well. A lot of these earlier Ninjago minifigs are becoming harder and harder to find because so many people are looking back from their childhoods and thinking, wow, those were really cool. I want them now. And they are expensive. These guys came in expensive sets back in the day too. Acidicus and the Constricti General, I can't think of his name. They both came in a $120 set. The Great Devourer, which was one of my favorite sets as a kid. So they were harder to find. Pythor came in the Ultrasonic Raider. Scales came in Cole's Rock Rotor vehicle. I don't think it's the Rock Rotor, it's his Scythe of Quakes vehicle. And then Fangtum over here came in a $50 snake car. But these guys are incredible. They introduced this brand new snake piece. It's like this tail that kind of sticks out from the bottom. Looks really, really good. An incredible part here. It's kind of rubbery around the back and then a little more harder plastic over here. And then they all have unique head molds that they introduced. Of course, Pythor being the last of his tribe, which we would see come back later in the show, but we'll get to that. He is the only purple snake that we get in this wave. And then these are the generals of their respective tribes of snakes. But we'll get them out of the way and we'll start looking at the actual kind of villains themselves, kind of the more henchmen snakes. We've got, right here, we got the Fangpire. I'm not going to remember every snake's name. I'm certainly going to try. This is Fangdam Chop Suey, I want to say. On my last video, when I mentioned this snake's name, someone commented and said, is that a System of a Down reference? I don't know, man. Ask Lego. I don't even... This guy I don't know the name of. These guys look great. I love the red and white. Getting this two-headed snake piece outside of a general is really nice. Just an incredible piece here. Lego just goes all out for these Ninjago molds, even more so than Star Wars, which is their biggest theme, which is kind of crazy, but I just really appreciate it. We've got these guys. Man, I'm already forgetting Serpentine tribes. I know this guy in the middle here is Acidicus. This is Lizaru. Spitta, Spitbricks. I got comments about that in the last video too. I'm trying to remember the name of their tribe. It'll come to me right as the video ends, right? We've got the Hypnobrai here. These were the ones I liked the most as a kid. I remember, I think it's just because they were the first ones we got to see. These guys all look great. Again, unique molded heads. LEGO just went all out for these serpentine figs here, and I don't think we'll ever see anything like that again for a villain army. And then we've got the Constricti. We've got Baitar here. This is Snake. And then we've got the man, the myth, the legend, God himself, Chokin. And anyone who's been in the Ninjago YouTube community for a while now knows that this guy is a meme legend. He's God himself, Jesus incarnate, whatever you want to call it. Deets Naglia Studios back in the day, if you were a kid and watched him like I did, this guy was a huge joke throughout the series. So I will always look back on this minifig fondly. I remember Dan had an army of these guys back in the day, but very fond memories with this figure, especially in the show when he asked for a giant ham sandwich, and you know what? He never got it. So if you feel bad for Chokin, at least like I do, comment hashtag Chokin down in the comments down below, or hashtag justice for Chokin. Get this man a ham sandwich. And then we've got the last minifig over here for the 2012 Snake Wave, Rise of the Snakes. This is Lord Garmadon with, 4 arms. This man's copying Samukai. It has already begun, and we will see lots more of this in the future. But I frankly do not care, because 4 arms is way cooler than 2, and I'm sure you all can agree with me on that. Again, this is that new helmet piece. He's not using the older one because they changed it. This upper torso piece for the 4 arms is very cool. No printing on it, but I think that's fine. It works for what it is. But again, to get Garmadon with 4 arms, he was only in 2 sets, and they were both expensive sets. So this, again, is a more rare minifig as well. Now, we move on to 2013, the final battle, and what many thought would be the final time we ever saw Ninjago from LEGO. Of course, that wouldn't be true, as the existence of this video proves, but back as a kid, I remember being incredibly hyped for this wave. These here are the kimono robes. The ninja were fighting the Overlord, kind of the big bad that everything had been building towards. These kimono robes are some of the best suits of all time as well. I really, really love these. I think, again, I know I'm saying it a lot, but the simplicity of the early suits is so refreshing compared to how complex some of the newer ones are. And they can't go back to the simplicity, of course, because LEGO's printing, their standards, everything has changed so much. But the beauty of these will always remain unmatched. They're using the ZX hood pieces, of course, same faces for everyone. But I think just the way the black base color and then each of their own colors just really unites them in a way that not a lot of other suits do. The only one I can think of are the possession suits that look as good united as these do. Absolutely love these ones. Really nice to get Lloyd here as well. This one was rare because he was only in an encyclopedia. You had to buy a Ninjago book. He was never in any of the sets, which is kind of a terrible marketing choice in my opinion. Like, Lloyd is the ninja now. I mean, he's the leader of the team. Rest in peace, Cole. He's the face of Ninjago in my opinion, I guess aside from the man Kai, but really weird that he only came in a book. Something very interesting here is the Golden Ninja, which again came in this wave of sets. And he had 2 variants here. We've got LEGO's more classic shiny gold and the pearl gold. So LEGO was phasing out this gold here, this gold color. It looks 10 times better than the pearl gold in my opinion, but they were phasing it out. So there was a wave of sets where this was the Lloyd minifig you would get. And then if you bought the Dimensions pack, this is the figure you would get, because the Dimensions pack came after. And that was when that other gold color had been phased out and we had pearl gold. So pearl gold, of course, looks nowhere near as good as kind of this shinier gold here. This just looks more accurate to the show in general. But really strange situation here to get 2 of the same figure in different colors. Ninjago's never had anything like this, and I don't think we'll ever see anything like it again unless there's a major color swap and LEGO's palette of parts. But the Golden Ninja is an iconic minifig for Ninjago. The Golden Dragon is a set that goes for almost $200 sealed these days. So again, another iconic minifig and another great one from the early days of Ninjago. Moving on, we've got the baddies for the wave. These are the Stone Army, and interestingly enough, they had multiple variants. The main thing, most of the torsos stayed the same. The main thing that changed was the faces. They had different color faces, as you'll see. We have a yellow face, blue, We've got red, and then this guy here was kind of the Stoneware Brute with this bigger samurai helmet on. These guys were cool villains. I liked that they were kind of invincible, of course, until they weren't. Really loved the black and red. I think that's a cool design. And then we got General Kozu, who is a pretty mid character in the show, but in Lego, he looks great. 4 arms, baby. This is going to be a trend. This is a new upper torso piece for him, though. I love the face print underneath. This figure came in Garmatron, which, again, was a set I loved as a kid. It's in my top 10 Ninjago sets of all time, at least in terms of nostalgia. And yeah, Kozu was a really cool minifig back in the day. Now, after this, Ninjago ended. Until it didn't, of course. The backlash was so much that Ninjago and Lego, you know, they brought it back. And we started with Rebooted. And that was a little wink at the audience there because, of course, Ninjago was rebooted. This was a tech season, and we'll get to the villains eventually. These are the new suits. I think the biggest thing about these suits when they came out was everyone was freaking out about getting the ninjas' hair pieces. Finally, you could recreate your favorite characters with their hair pieces, because Kai didn't have an existing hair piece in Lego, and the other ninjas' hair pieces never came in any Ninjago sets. So, when you were playing with your Ninjago minifigs, I mean, they were going to be bald unless you had a random hairpiece you could throw on, but that all changed. I mean, look at that. This Kai hairpiece is incredible. It's rubbery. This was a new part for the wave, of course. And then these other ones were just an easier way to get them. Something I don't like about the suits, no leg printing is a very strange design choice, especially after how good these designs looked with leg printing in the waves before them. So a really interesting choice here. I think it's nice. These suits aren't my favorites by far, but I do like them. I think they're very unique. And that's something that, you know, a lot of Ninjago suits do tend to blend together over time. Really like these guys, though. Lots of good memories of, oh, wow, Ninjago's back when I was a kid. Now we get on to the most expensive Ninjago minifig of all time, and I don't think that'll be changing. This is DX Lloyd. This only came in a small 4-pack bundle of minifigs that was sold at Target for a very short time. Believe it or not, this minifigure goes for over $200 US today at this moment in time, as of July 2024. Absolutely outrageous pricing on a figure like this, but I'm very thankful I was able to get it when I did. I bought it off a friend a few years back. He has this exclusive Lloyd face print, which just looks leagues better than this Lloyd face print they use for quite a while. This just looks more like Lloyd to me. That's my opinion. I don't like this face print. This was introduced with Rebooted, and that was the one face print that changed. I don't think it looks like Lloyd. I just really don't. I don't like it. He's too angry. Lloyd doesn't get angry like that. I mean, maybe if it was Kai or Cole or something, but Lloyd's not an angry guy in the show, so I really don't like that face print. And they stuck with it all the way through Hands of Time, so for many, many years. But that's besides the point. This figure is insane. It was really nice of Lego to go back and complete a ninja suit collection. This was the first time they would go back and do that because we didn't get a DX suit for Lloyd. For Lloyd, we still don't have one for Nia, maybe one day. But this is a theme we'd see Lego start to do, is go back and complete suit collections that they never finished at the time. And it's a huge thing because fans love to collect the ninja suits, myself included, obviously. But really weird that he had this mask piece and not the original to fit in with the others. But the original Ninja mask piece was not a mold that Lego had anymore at this time. They had gotten rid of it, so it makes sense. And of course, he has his dragon symbol and his name Lloyd on the back, not his snake symbol. I think the dragon one works a lot better than the ZX snake symbol. Now, moving on, we've got the stone armor suits. We only got 3 of them in this wave here. We got Lloyd, Zane, and Nia. Interesting how Nia has leg printing, but Lloyd and Zane don't. I don't really get that. I guess they were trying to stay more in line with their suits from the rebooted wave, and since Nia didn't get a suit, they were like, oh, leg printing would look cool, let's give her that. This collection of suits would be completed later on down the line. So I guess we can all give a huge shout out to DX Lloyd for starting this trend, because we would not have a complete collection of stone armor suits without DX Lloyd starting that trend. And we'll get to that again. This video is in complete release order, So everything that was released, this is in order of that. So Stone Armor Collection hasn't been completed just yet, but just you wait, you'll see. Let's see, we got Zane here. This one came in the Zane Ninja Copter. This was him with something we saw back when he was fighting the Devourer, when he found out he was a robot. Half of his face came off, so getting that face print was so freaking cool as a kid. And then I love how his chest is just open here, you know, electricity radiating out. This is a true Nindroid Zane minifig, of course, before he would fully become a Nindroid in Tournament of Elements. But I'm glad we got this figure with that face print. And that wouldn't be the last time we saw this face print. At least a version of it. And then, of course, there's more on the back, which is a bit strange because the hair covers it up. But looks really weird, just kind of, the print doesn't carry over the side. So there's just this weird yellow gap. But still really, really cool. Continuing on with the last few heroes we got for this wave, we have got the man, the myth, the legend, Dareth. We finally got Dareth as a minifig. He came in a polybag fighting a Nindroid. This is a great minifig. I mean, Dareth is just such a goofy guy. I love how they captured his belly with kind of these line printing here. Yeah, really iconic. The best Dareth minifigure we've ever had and probably ever will get. Pixel, a brand new character here. She was great. She was Zane's love interest, but she worked for the Overlord, or at least she was programmed to until that changed. So she has her kind of nice good guy face, and then when she's programmed by the Overlord, we have her evil face. I love the red eyes there, that kind of, and the upside down smile, or as many would call it, an angry expression. Yeah, a great figure. Pixel was a really, really cool new character introduced at the time, and she wouldn't really become big until much later on in the show. And then another new character, kind of, this is Garmadon, but he looks a lot different now. He went from evil to good after the Overlord was defeated, and he's a Sensei now, so I guess this is Sensei Garmadon. Cyrus Borg, another new character. Loved seeing all these new characters in the show for Rebooted. This is a great minifig. I mean, this whole new hairpiece mold was created for him with kind of the tech over it. It is a bit of a shame we didn't get like an actual Borg. This is just Evil Borg. They did give you a face print to try and make your own if you wanted. You could give him like a suit and tie. But yeah, we wouldn't get like an actual Cyrus Borg minifig until 2023, 10 years after this season released, which is insane. Interesting to see them ditching leg printing here. They did that on Pixel as well. I mean, the figures work just fine without it, but it's something, again, that becomes less common as the years go. Now, this was an incredibly exciting minifig for fans at the time because we never got an official Overlord minifig for the wave before the final battle. So this was our first time getting him in his Golden Master appearance. And this is probably one of the sickest looking minifigs of all time. I love the spikes on the armor, this helmet, and of course his creepy, creepy face. I mean, this is an all-timer Ninjago fig. There's printing on the back of the head, which I'll take. It's just weird that it gets covered up. This was when Lego was still using like an actual slope piece for, you know, dresses, I guess. This is more just his evil essence more than a dress. So it does kind of pop off easily. But this is one of the rarest Ninjago minifigs of all time as well. Last I checked, which was probably about a year ago, this guy was worth about $70+ I'm sure at this point he's probably almost worth the original retail of the set he came in, which is $120. But there's a reason he costs so much. I mean, anyone who's a fan of Ninjago wants this classic Golden Master Overlord figure. It's just a fact. Love the reflective gold printing on there as well. Yeah, 10 out of 10 minifig here. General Cryptor, the villains of this wave were Nindroids, which I remember, again, I'm flashing back to a kid so much in this early stage of the video here because I grew up with this as a kid. Seeing that Zane, a Nindroid, was going to be fighting other Nindroids was like, holy crap, that's the coolest thing ever. And I love these mask pieces here. It's the classic ninja mask piece, of course, that we've been getting used to. But there's a little twist. They're Nindroids, so they have all this tech on the side of it, which looks really, really good. I love the little eye shooter. These guys would shoot like laser beams out of their eyes. Cryptor had this exclusive armor piece too that looks great. He's really, really angry there, which I do find to be quite funny. Yeah, Cryptor is great. Love this guy here. This is Mindroid. He was a little bit of a joke in the show. He's like a fun-size version, because at least that's what Jay called him. So fun-size funny, according to the show. And then we had 2 different torso variations for, you know, kind of the basic goon henchman level of minifigs. I think this one on the left is way better, especially because it comes with torso printing. The one on the right, or sorry, leg printing. The one on the right never came with leg printing. And there would also be variants that didn't have the mask piece, so they look like that. It just looks incomplete. I don't think we ever saw them like that in the show either. But overall, the Nindroids were phenomenal villains for Ninjago. And with the first 3 seasons aside, it's time to begin our look at Tournament of Elements. After a year-long gap, we were greeted with Season 4 of Ninjago, the Tournament of Elements. This picks up right after Zane's passing. So with Zane being gone, of course, he is not going to get a tournament suit here. I think these are really good. It's weird seeing only 4 ninja and one of them not being Zane. This is the only time this would happen, of course, because Zane does come back. I really like these. This is the first time we see them with their sleeveless design. And of course, these continue the trend from Rebooted of these newer mini mask pieces and their hair pieces being out. So great to get more of the ninja hair pieces here. Moving on over here, for some reason, Tech Wu is over here. This is going to be the beginning of probably another couple mistakes that'll happen, but this is a rebooted minifig. I don't know why he's with Tournament of Elements. But this is a great looking Wu. This was when he turned evil. Really cool idea. I love the printing, kind of like Zane, you know, the exposed metal printing, the darker beard color, the silver hat. This is just evil all written over it. So great. Tournament of Elements minifig. Yeah, Tournament of Elements. But going back to actually Tournament of Elements, we've got Nia here in her brand new Samurai X uniform. This is the best Samurai X figure in my opinion. I love this face print here, the robot eyes, which she used a lot in the show, so to finally get it was great. The huge Phoenix symbol looks great in the middle. I love the introduction of dark green for this minifig, and we finally got a Nia face that looked just perfect for her with kind of that smile there. This just looks like Nia to me. So one of the great all-timer Nia minifigs and the best Samurai X one. We got a brand new Garmadon, Sensei Garmadon, for what would be the last time this man would be alive in this form. Very cool. On the back there, his shirt's kind of ripped open and you can see his Anacondrae tattoo, showing that he used to work for Master Chen. So really interesting how Chen would kind of brand people with his Anacondrae markings. But a pretty solid Sensei Garmadon minifig. I don't like it as much as the other one. This one really omitted a lot of the gray and kind of added in some more gold and darker black. Both look great though. Same face print for both. Now we get the Zukin suits over here. These are a lot of people's not favorites, but they are in the higher end of Ninjago suits. And I would agree, I like the bright colors. I think these masks look great. They're the same ZX masks, but instead of armor printed onto them, there is a symbol. And I believe the symbol is the first letter of each of their names, if I'm not mistaken, in Ninjargon, which is the official language of Ninjago, although I'm not a huge expert on Ninjargon, unfortunately. This is Zane here. My boy is back. Zane is my favorite ninja. So as a kid, I was very happy to see that he came back. He's got this titanium coloring here. His arms are silver. His mask piece is silver, but the torso is a lighter gray with some silver printing on it, which I think is a really solid combo. This minifig is known as the Titanium Ninja, and it just looks so good. I love how much silver and light gray here. He has a brand new face print. So one for when he's got his mask on and he's, you know, kind of analyzing things. Looks a lot better with the mask on. And then, of course, we've got the brand new Zane here. He is a full robot now. And I remember a lot of people back in the day taking kind of the classic Zane hairpiece here and using a silver Sharpie on it to color it to match the Titanium Ninja here, because obviously that doesn't look quite right. And it would be just a little bit of time before we actually got an official Titanium Zane hairpiece. Really solid wave of suits here, though. I love the brown on them. Of course, Zane doesn't have the brown, but these guys have like this light brown printing. I like the little knives there. And then, of course, their classic elemental ninja symbol up in the upper left corner. Oh, man, all of these OG Ninjago suits just hit so different. They were all so incredible. We've got this robot build here. I know this doesn't technically count as a minifig, but Brickset counted it. So therefore, I counted it. This guy is cool. He was also a character in the show, which is just more reason to put him here. He piloted the Ninja DBX and was also a bit of a goofball, which a lot of characters are in Ninjago. We've got kind of the two main baddies for Tournament of Elements. A lot of people call Chen one of Ninjago's best villains. I'm going to hit you all with a hot take here. I think Chen's kind of a mid-tier villain. I think this season is a little overrated. I love Tournament of Elements, but I don't think it's one of the best seasons we've ever gotten. I know you all are probably screaming at me in the comments right now, but it's just my opinion, man. Really like this staff build. There's a sticker there for kind of the snake, and this is the staff that would absorb elemental powers. And that was kind of the goal. Chen was trying to get everyone's powers. It has this Anacondrae helmet, this Anacondrae cultist helmet that sits on top there. Chen was kind of an insane minifig. Look at this headdress here. This thing is crazy. It just looks like an Anacondrae skull with like a snake draped around it. Looks really cool. His face is nice and creepy. He's got kind of this classic Darth Vader looking cape here, and then he's got some teeth hanging on a necklace there. Very, he's a weird, creepy dude in the show, and that is executed in the design of this minifig perfectly, in my opinion. The other main villain of the season was a sorcerer. His name was Klaus. This guy's pretty cool. Again, the snake influence is already being so felt in Ninjago, which is fine. I like the snakes. I do think they get tiresome after a certain point, but we hadn't gotten there quite yet. I love Klaus's alternate face. This is him practicing magic, and there was like some little powered up spell pieces you could put in his hands to kind of just make it like he was casting a spell on you, which was really great for play. I remember messing around with that as a kid and thinking it was really cool. But yeah, Klaus is way better than Chen as a villain, but as a minifig, Chen really does take the cake over Klaus. This is Izor. We would later see him remade in Legacy, which was cool. But he was kind of, I don't know, I want to consider him a general, but I don't think they really had generals. He just seemed like he was higher up in the ranking of the Anacondrae cultists. And he's also the only one to not wear a helmet. These guys all have Anacondrae skulls as helmets, which is really creepy and really cool at the same time. But as like villains, as henchmen, I think these guys are kind of compared to Stone Army, Snakes, Nindroids. These guys don't hit the same as they do, and I know that's going to be a crazy take that you all will get mad at me in the comment section for below. But again, this is something, the great thing about them that Ninjago doesn't do as much these days is unique variants of villains. So of course we got this guy with the armor piece, the unique face. This guy's got a unique torso, unique face, unique torso, and then unique face for this guy here. So keeping them, again, it gives them a sense of identity. When Ninjago villains are all the same minifig, it just isn't as much of a sense of identity, kind of like the Wolf Mask Warriors are the most recent ones I can think of. Those guys are cool, we'll get to them later. But that's just one thing I really appreciate about early Ninjago and the Anacondrae cultists as well, even if they're not my favorite villain faction. And of course, we get to what Chen was trying to do the whole time, and that's become an Anacondrae. We don't have a Chen on an Anacondrae minifig, which is wild to me. I don't know why we never got that. Hopefully one day LEGO will fix that mistake. The two Anacondrae warriors here are nice. They have new headpieces. It's going to be the same snake tail pieces that we've seen before. And these guys are kind of like janky Anacondrae. They're not actual Anacondrae. They just got transformed to them by spells. So they're not going to look like our boy Pythor here, who's an OG. Anyways, speaking of Pythor, of course, he is back. He survived the Great Devourer eating him. We found that out back in Rebooted, but we didn't get an actual minifig until Season 4, which he does briefly appear in. Love kind of the Anacondrae skulls on his torso there. That's tying in with the cultists and this whole theme. Very good stuff. Great to get a white Pythor minifig because those are hard to come by. We only got, I believe, one more. Or sorry, there's a crystallized one too. Yeah, white Pythor over purple Pythor. I don't know if it's a hot take or not. We got some Elemental Masters for this wave. The coolest one, of course, being Skylar, who is a new character and a love interest for Kai, his first love interest. Her suit, she's not like the other Elemental Masters. She has a Zukin suit. Or sorry, Zukin suit. So she fits in with the rest of the team in this season. Of course, if I put Zane by her, you can see they kind of match. Really loved Skylar. I wish she was in the show more, man. I'm sad she's not. I really thought she was going to become a main character back in these days. And of course, she never really did, although she did remain a fan favorite and still does to this day. So hopefully we'll see her again at some point. This alternate face is really strange to me. Don't get me wrong, it looks really cool, especially with the mask on, but we never saw this in the show. Skylar was never this angry, and I don't know why she has like a Batman eyes. But I will take an alternate face print every day of the week because we don't always get those. So, Skylar. Also, I love the Keat orange color. It's another reason she would have fit so well with the team because it's the new color. It stands out. But of course, that never panned out to be anything, even though a lot of us thought it would be. We've got Turner, and then we've got Karloff, two Elemental Masters that came in a small $25 set. These guys are both great. Griffin Turner does have an alternate face. No leg printing, which doesn't bother me at all. I think he looks great. I don't know why this alternate face exists again. We never saw him without his glasses. His sunglasses were kind of his thing. But yeah, we didn't see him in the new Dragons Rising season, which I thought we would with the new tournament stuff, which there will be no spoilers for in this video. I'm just frankly pointing out that Griffin Turner wasn't there, which was very strange to me. We got Karloff. This guy's fine. No alternate face print. I do like that he has leg printing, and then he's bringing back this shoulder, these shoulder pieces here from the ZX wave of suits. We've got 3 more minifigs for this wave. These guys were, of course, brought up in the comments section, and you all voted on Instagram that these 2 should be counted as official Ninjago minifigs. Mr. Invisible here, Pale Man, Mr. Pale, whatever you want to call him, was $40. So thank you to all of my viewers for voting that he should be in this video. I got to spend $40. I really appreciate you all. This is Tox over here on the right. They were both included in Ultra Agent sets, but they were characters in the show. So that's kind of why I struggled to include them as actual Ninjago minifigs, because they never came in Ninjago sets. Of course, we'd get updated versions of them, 9 years later now in 2024. But you all voted for these to be here. Again, these aren't official Ninjago minifigs. They're from Ultra Agents, but they were characters in the show. Tox here is a little bit easier to get. Mr. Pale is a hard-to-find minifig. You will not find him many places, and that's why he's so expensive. I'm glad to own the original one, though. I am actually happy to have him. I wasn't happy about spending $40 on this, though. I'll be quite honest with you all. And then this is something I touched on earlier, the stone armor suits being completed, and this would be the beginning of that. This came in another Target box with 4 minifigs, so this guy's a little bit harder to find. I think my favorite part about him is this brand new Kai face print, and I think that matches Kai so well. It's weird because he doesn't have the scar, which the scar is not in the show. It's never been canon to Ninjago, so it's strange that Kai used the scar for so long on his minifigs. But yeah, it was nice to get a smiling Kai face print here. And again, no scar. And then we jump to the next wave of sets and his scar is back. So really weird consistency, but I'm not going to complain. One more thing of note to mention about this stone armor variant is that it has leg printing when Lloyd and Zane's didn't. So really strange, and again, we'd see that with Jay and Cole. They would both get leg printing too, but Lloyd and Zane still remain leg printless to this day. All right, moving on to the superior 2015 season, Possession. Like I mentioned earlier, all of these suits look absolutely phenomenal together. I love, again, this was a darker season, so they went with a black color scheme, which again kind of matches the tonality of everything. And then they went very, very light on their colors here, which again makes them look more unified, but they still feel like single individual beings. Nia's here doesn't fit in, but that's totally fine because she doesn't get it until I believe the last couple episodes of the season. She was still Samurai X for a lot of this. She was still kind of discovering her elemental powers and becoming an elemental master. All of these face prints remain the same. However, what is new is this dual molded ninja mask piece. This looks absolutely incredible. I love the little flaps hanging down on the back. That is new. And of course, the dual molding is new, so they can do 2 different colors. We'd see this continued for a little while after this, all the way through Hands of Time. Absolutely love. Of course, again, the black kind of unifying the team, but there's just enough of their own color to make them feel like, you know, individuals. And then, of course, Nia here. I want to talk about her just a little bit more because the weirdest thing about Nia, look at that. They changed her face print to a generic city face print. Meanwhile, in the same wave, this Samurai X minifig right here came with a great Nia face. Great Nia face. Why? You have this print in rotation, and you just cheap out and give her a cheap city face print that looks nothing like Nia. I mean, look how much better that looks with the mask. I don't know. Very strange occurrence. I will say, with this being the first Nia suit, it's interesting how much red is in it. Of course, it's maroon. It's a darker form of red, but we already had a red ninja and we already had a blue ninja. LEGO would try to deviate from this later on, we'll see, and then they got scared and never did it again. And that's with the gunmetal gray suits. I don't think those were received well. I don't really know. But I like the maroon. I think it looks good on her. This suit is one of the best Nia suits of all time, in my opinion. I think the colors just work so well together. Possession just had incredible, incredible minifigs. These 2 guys who I moved, I want to point out really quick. These are screamers. They could fly through the air and kind of... Here, I'll show you with one of these guys. They can possess you. They can, like, jump on your head. Brickset counts them as minifigs, so I guess I have to as well. And these came in 2 different variants, you know, one with the tongue sticking out and one looking angry. These look exactly like the things from Ghostbusters, but it's a cool idea, and they're great for play because they can sit on the head of minifigs and kind of, you know, possess them and drive them around. Master Wu, of course, after not having a figure for Season 4, comes back and gets 2 figures for this wave. This is a big change because he's now Master Wu. He's not Sensei Wu anymore. He's Master Wu. Why did that change? I have no idea, but it is what it is. I love the introduction of more gold on this suit and the dark gray. That, again, fits with the darker tone of this season. All-timer Wu suit. Really love that. Then we get into the Air Jitsu figs. We only got 4. Now, LEGO would come back and complete this collection later on, and I'll talk about that when we get there in the video. But these really feel like they were trying to capture the early vibes of the NRG suits. But the one thing that they kind of changed, as I look for the NRG suits off to the side here, I guess we'll use Lloyd. That's the X. Man, I can't find the NRG suits. Here we go. Here's Kai. Okay. Technical difficulties. We'll get back to this. Of course, the one thing they changed is they added all this black in. And again, that's to fit in with the darker tonality of the season. I don't think they look as good as the NRG ones because the NRG picked one color and did a dang good job with it. But I think these look really good for what they are. They fit Possession very, very well. And this face for Zane here could actually work as just another Zane face, which is why I like this Zane figure so much. It's my favorite Air Jitsu suit. These came in $10 flyers that did not sell well at all. They were pretty gimmicky. You could kind of like, it was just this big plastic molded part that you could ripcord it like the Chima Speedors and it would fly into the air. It's a cool function, but the sets themselves got damaged really easily because again, they're flying through the air. What do you expect? But again, the face prints on these, phenomenal. Not as good as the NRG ones, but what could be, you know what I mean? These are just great. Again, these are probably the second best powered up versions of the Ninja. And I think this is the last time we got a full crew of powered up Ninja. From here on out, when LEGO would do gimmick sets with powered up Ninja, they wouldn't do the full team, which frustrates me to no end as a Ninja suit collector because there are so many spots where Ninja suits are just missing because LEGO didn't want to make the rest of them. But that's besides the point. This is our second Master Wu figure. This is Air Jitsu Wu. He came in the Air Jitsu Temple. I love this one. He looks so ornate with these kind of tan and gold robes draped over him. He just looks like he's chilling. First time we're seeing a full tan torso for him as well. It's always been white before, but I think this looks really, really good. We finally get Misako as a minifig, Lloyd's mom, who does a terrible job at being a mom because she wasn't there for him during his childhood. This is great. I mean, this is the beginning, again, of LEGO starting to give us figures from the show that we always wanted but never got. So Misako is great. Her face prints are strange, like she's smiling and then she just has a bigger smile. I guess it does fit Misako, though. We don't really see times where she's doing anything other than kind of being soft-spoken. Really great figure to get, though. Love these sand green legs. Ronin was introduced as one of the new characters in this season. And Ronin is my all-time favorite Ninjago side character. Yes, even over Dareth. Unless we're being ironic, then Dareth is God. Dareth is supreme. But I just love Ronin. He's a smuggler. He's a mercenary. He's a thief. He only cares about himself, but of course, he kind of learns. He's a bit of a small arc to get past that. I love the sand green, the orange, the olive, the red. He has so many different colors going, but LEGO just makes it work. The eye patch is a really nice touch here. He's got some stubble. I mean, this guy just looks like a cool dude, right? Like, this guy you don't want to mess with. And then he has this bamboo hat, which is interesting because Ronin has long flowing hair. I don't know. I get why there's an eye patch print with the hat. Ronin's supposed to have long flowing hair. So when he's wearing this bamboo hat, it just looks really off. There were people back in the day that were actually gluing the bamboo hat onto a Ronin hairpiece because the hairpiece was somewhat easy to find in other sets at the time. But really weird that LEGO didn't go the extra mile and make a new hat and hair mold, but it is what it is. We got two non-canon Ninjago minifigs. These came in the Temple of Air-Jitsu. We have got Claire and Jesper. These were just supposed to be like the groundskeepers. They would just kind of watch over and keep the Temple of Air-Jitsu looking clean and neat. The only exclusive part is the torso and legs over on the right here. The torso even has this little smiley face on it, which I think is really funny, a name tag. Interesting to get exclusive parts, and then Claire here has no exclusive parts, but she's a Ninjago minifig, so strange choices for the Air-Jitsu Temple, but I'm not complaining when the other minifigs were as good as they were. This is the postman, mailman, whatever you want to call him. My man is always breaking the fourth wall here. He does not have an alternate face, but to get this kind of meme character who would appear in every season for quite a while until LEGO stopped doing that was a really nice inclusion. Getting over to the last two minifigs in the Temple of Air-Jitsu over here, we've got the return of Dareth, except he has a worse face print and no leg printing. New torso, that's, again, the only good part is that new torso print. He doesn't look as chubby in this one because the collar isn't opened up as much, so you can't see more of his chest and his belly, which I thought was a lot funnier on the other fig. But I don't like this face print. I don't think it suits Dareth. The smile is way too big. Dareth is more of like a smirky, kind of mess around, cocky, confident kind of guy. Not, hey, can I sell you car insurance? Like, that's just not Dareth. But overall, a fine figure. Nice to get Dareth again, at least. We got Sensei Yang. This is just a statue that came in the Temple of Air-Jitsu. We wouldn't get an actual Yang minifig until a little bit later. Now, we get to the best Ninjago villain faction of all time. Yes, you heard me. Better than the snakes from Season 1, we have the Ghosts. These guys are just so good. And look at all the different variations we got, including this guy. I mean, LEGO went all out. I love the translucent legs. And this right here. Who is that? It's Lloyd, but he's possessed by the man himself, Moro, the best Ninjago villain of all time. In the show, at least. I don't think it's the best minifigure we've ever gotten, but he's still very, very good. This Lloyd figure is incredible. This is a brand new armor piece, and then this piece is exclusive to the minifig. The armor here we saw on some of the other Ghosts, which you can see off to the side over here, and then but this mask piece never came anywhere else, and it just sits on top, and it looks so good. This is a very expensive minifig. I think this one's getting close to $100 now on the aftermarket. Just because Possession is one of the all-time great seasons, it's also one that LEGO sold a lot of sets for. It did very, very well back in the day, and it's for a reason. Possession is such a good season. Love Moro, and I like that he got this cape here, kind of just a tattered cape, even though he didn't have that in the show. This is a generic Ghost baddie. His minifig name, I believe, is Spider, with a Y, though. We've got kind of Moro's three main henchmen here. We've got the Soul Archer, Gultar, and Bansha. Crazy how I'm luckily remembering a lot of these names. They had this brand new Ghost Tail piece, which looks great. Kind of makes them woo, you know, flying around. Again, a new mask piece here for the Soul Archer. Again, he had a really creepy ghost face print. I love the translucent heads. I mean, Lego went all out with these villain figures. They look so good, man. Gultar is great. He was a big goofball in the show. Get my man Gultar some Puffy Pot stickers. I mean, come on, man. Bansha looks great. She has this same new mask piece as well that was introduced for some of the henchmen. But yeah, Bansha. And then this guy here, his name is Wraith. W-R-A-Y-T-H. I don't know why the spelling matters. Maybe for those of you that wanted to know. This guy actually came in a flyer without the ghost tail, and then when he was in the sets, he came with this ghost tail here. These are the other generic baddies. I like the purple bamboo hats. This one was weird because they all had translucent faces, and then his is just like a darker black face. I don't really know why, but it still looks cool. Fits in relatively well. I don't know. The bamboo hat kind of casts a shadow on all the ghosts anyways, so it doesn't matter. And then we have this guy here who came in an exclusive minifig pack. You couldn't find him in any of the sets. His torso, exclusive. His face, exclusive. You want to know the name of this minifig? W-O-O-O. Ooh. I'm sorry. Stupid childlike humor like that. Like, I find that funny. Lego just being self-aware and being like, hey, these are ghosts. What do ghosts do? Woo, let's name him Woo. I don't know. It's funny to me, but also I collect plastic Lego toys. I clearly never grew up. And if you're watching this video, you're probably in the same boat as me, so maybe you do find that funny. Anyways, moving on to 2016, we get Skybound, another very beloved Ninjago season, and we would start to see this happen less. All of the earlier Ninjago work is beloved. A lot of the more recent stuff is very, very mixed, but we'll get to that. Skybound here was great. They reused all of the possession leg printing, which honestly, I don't mind. I think it works perfect for these suits. Of course, this is when the ninja learned air jitsu, so they have air jitsu kind of, you know, tornado on their suits here, reusing the possession mask pieces. Of course, Nia's a part of the team now, using that awful, awful city face. Still, for some reason, they got brand new armor pieces. So instead of, you know, the two shoulders, the two pauldrons, they have just a single one here. And then you could place swords, two swords on the same side. These look a lot more elegant, a lot less rugged than something like this does. And it's going to be, you know, personal preference, whether you prefer the rugged look or the elegant look. I like this look. And the singular shoulder pad is something that Ninjago would embrace a lot more after the Oni trilogy, with a newer one. But of course, these are classic. This was the only wave of sets they came in besides the next one. So 2 waves of sets for this armor piece, and then it was never used again. Kind of the big change, though, you can see right in the middle of the screen, my boy Cole is a ghost. This happened in Possession, but of course that would have been a spoiler to include in the sets. So I'm so glad Lego quickly jumped on giving him a ghost face. They've been lazy in the past with character changes before. Nia. Love that he has an alternate face here where he's kind of laughing, smirking. It's such a classic Cole thing to do here. And this would be the beginning of getting these newer face prints for the classic ninja faces here, because these are not going to last much longer. In fact, there's only 2 set waves left before these face designs would change forever. So if you're a fan of the classic ninja faces, getting figures like Ghost Cole here is something that I'm sure you are very thankful to have. Now, woo, this looks very similar, except he has a new helmet piece, you know, an aviation helmet, because Skybound, right? Haha, they're going into the sky, let's give him a pilot helmet. It works. It's the same suit from Possession, but it's fine. It doesn't really bother me. Woo isn't a huge part of Skybound anyways, so we didn't really need a new suit. Now, continuing on with new face prints for Classic Ninja, we've got Jay here. This came in Misfortune's Keep. And then you could also get this face print in the Lightning Elemental Dragon as well. The other sets were going to have just the other J face print, which I guess I totally skipped over. Jay got a new face print too in this wave of sets. Of course, he got 2 new face prints. This one here is just classic Jay. It looks so much better than the original one. Jay isn't always angry. He's more of a funny, jokey kind of guy. And then the alternate face looks so good. Just the classic Jay, like, huh? Looks really, really good. And then this one was great because you not only, of course, got this pirate look here with the eye patch, you also got another face for Jay, which looks exactly like Jay. I mean, this is the definitive Jay wave, in my opinion, because he was the main character, and he got 3 new face prints, if you count the fact that this is 2, which, we've never seen since. So really good stuff for Jay here, or at least we've never seen useful ones like these 3 times. Main villain here, all-timer, Nauticon. Everyone loves Nauticon. A lot of people's favorite Ninjago villain is Nauticon. Everyone wants Nauticon to come back. If I say Nauticon one more time, it's going to lose any sense of meaning. The 4 arms here, he's using the same upper torso piece as General Kozu did, so good to see them bring it back, but they printed on it this time, which looks really, really great. I love the printing here. He is a djinn, so he's kind of like a genie. He's reusing that ghost piece style, so he kind of floats around in the show, and I love the pirate hook over on this arm here. It kind of adds to the look. And then something I added myself is this kind of 1x1 stud with the hole in the middle, because the original set just had a hairpiece like that, but it is kind of easy for it to pop off. So if you add this dark red stud there, it's going to make it stay on a little bit better. Not perfect. It is Lego. It's meant to come apart, but it is staying on a bit better. Nauticon's first mate, of course, was Mr. Flintlock here. Could never miss a shot. Love the scarf. Again, the shoulder pauldrons, the aviation helmet. These are sky pirates. I mean, it's such a goofy idea, but Lego made it work so incredibly well. For those of you that watched the last video, you'll remember I forgot this guy's name, but the joke's on you all. I remembered for this one. It's Doubloon. And then his face, his alternate face, is literally just the other face flipped upside down. Really cool there. He's kind of like a good cop, bad cop. You know, it'd be kind of nice, chilling, and then boom, angry. And his face would actually like turn around in the show too, like it does on the minifig, which is just such a great Lego gag. Lego is good with goofy things like that. The other main kind of skybound pirate characters, we've got Clancy here. He was a snake. Again, another snake, but he's using the Anacondri cultist, reincarnated as Anacondri headpiece. I love the peg leg. You can't have a pirate crew without someone having a peg leg. And then the other key member of the crew was Dogshank over here. This is one of the few Ninjago big figs. I don't know why we don't get more Ninjago big figs. So we have to really appreciate them when they're around. I love this one. The torso mold here was brand new because the head is all, this is all one big thing here. So they had to completely make a new mold for the shoulder piece and the head here. And I think it looks great. The character of Dogshank herself was kind of strange in the show, but I really like getting a big fig here. The rest of the pirate crew, we've got Siren, C-Y-R-E-N over here. This is her main version that came in all of the sets, and she did actually have an alternate face, which is cool for a villain goon, smiling and an angry. This one here is an incredibly strange minifig. It came in an exclusive Lego gift with purchase that lasted for like a couple weeks. And included in the gift with purchase was, of course, this unique Siren minifig. The torso and legs are unique. And a pirate map and an eye patch that you could like put on. Very strange stuff. The poly bag that I bought her in cost me like 30 bucks for some crappy gift with purchase. But again, I think it's because no one got it back in the day, because who would? You know what? It's weird. So a really interesting tidbit of Ninjago history in that figure. There we've got Squiffy and Bucko. These two guys were businessmen, and they just joined Nauticon Sky Pirates because, you know, why not? They thought Nauticon was cool. They'd rather, you know, they wanted to join the winning side, and they thought Nauticon would win. Love that their eye patches are on reverse eyes, so it looks like, you know, 2 eyes when they're standing next to each other. Good minifigs because, again, individualized. These guys came in a minifig character pack, and we'll bring the other 2 that came in over here. We got a brand new non-canon Samurai X suit, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think this suit was ever in the show. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Brand new face print for Nia there. Again, that one is the same as the Possession one, but this eye one here has the little microphone right there. Instead of it fully covering the face, you can still see her lips right there. The other one was this Tournament Zane. That's right, LEGO went back and completed another suit collection for us. Tournament Zane, and it has the Zane headpiece, except it goes all the way around. The print goes all the way around. There's not this weird yellow gap in the middle, and then it kind of cuts off like it's been scraped off in the back, and it just looks so, so good. I'm so happy this minifig exists. Definitely a phenomenal thing of LEGO to do for fans like us. And then the other two figures that came in that Skybound pack was these two pirates here. These guys are super unique compared to the other ones. They have a lot more dark green and there's no orange, which a lot of the other pirate minifigs had a lot more orange in them. And I like this guy with the big mustache. And this little sailor's hat with the Skybound print on it is super nice to get. The final Skybound minifig we have is Monkey Wretch here. This guy was cool. He only came in 2 sets as well. He kind of just ran around causing mischief as a robotic sky pirate monkey. Never thought I'd be saying those words in the same sentence together, but here we are. Moving on, these two snakes that are sitting on over here. We're getting very close to the end of this first base plate here. These guys were released in a junior set. Ninjago got some junior sets that year, which was very, very strange. And these guys were exclusive for some reason. I don't know why these exist, but you know what? I'll take it. More Ninjago minifigs for the collection. The last couple of figures we've got here. This Sensei Wu came in a book called The Secret World of the Ninja, exclusive torso in leg print. It's a fine Sensei Wu. It kind of blends in with the rest, but it still looks good. These two, of course, we have the Stone Armor Suit Collection. Finally completed. So this Cole came in a little Toys R Us gift box that you could buy. I think it was like $5, $4, something cheap. He had a brand new OG Cole face, so non-Ghost Cole and non-RX Cole, where he's just smirking like that. So good. It is exactly how Cole looks. They were able to capture his likeness much better than the earlier faces did. And then this Stone Armor J came in an Ninjago character encyclopedia. It's the same face we got in the Skybound wave. And of course they have torso and leg printing, which unlike the Lloyd and Zane ones don't have leg printing, but really nice to get this suit collection completed, even though it was kind of a weird way to get it, you know, with a book and a gift box. And then this is technically a Skybound minifig, as are some of the others we'll be moving on to in the next base plate. But this guy didn't fit on the next base plate, so this is going to be the beginning of the Day of the Departed wave. So let's go ahead and get the Day of the Departed base plate over here and start looking at all those minifigs. Moving on to the second base plate here, you're going to find the biggest change, of course, is going to be these tons of Ninjago movie minifigs that we'll get to in the middle here. Going back to the Zane figure we were looking at on the last base plate, this is a Skybound minifig. And while we're at it, let's just look at the Skybound minifigs from this wave. They came in Day of the Departed sets, or I guess they came in the same wave of Day of the Departed sets, but these guys were all meant to be from Skybound. The last one we're gonna get Echo Zane, and then the last one is this little robot way over here. There we go. So these are the minifigs from Skybound that came with Day of the Departed. Just some important ones we are missing. Captain Soto in his first ever appearance. We still don't have him with his actual pirate uniform on, but we have the hat and the face, which are the most important. You could just use an old Captain Redbeard torso, which is what I did when I was a kid. I think it was from the 2011 line of Pirates, if I'm not mistaken. The biggest figure for this wave is Echo Zane, of course. Getting him in the Lighthouse set. We haven't seen him since. He almost became Mr. E in Sons of Garmadon, but they did cut that. So a little bit sad there, but this is an incredible figure. I love this. This is meant to represent copper, but this is more of an earthy tone. But I think this looks really good. I love all of the crazy kind of just oil stains on his legs and all the gears, cogs, and winds on his torso. Just an incredible Ninjago minifig. And of course he has a print on the back of his head that's covered up by a hairpiece, which again, I never understand why LEGO does that unless it's an alternate face. We have this generic cop minifig. He came in the Cryptarium Prison Breakout. Yeah, he's fine. We have my boy. No, I'm kidding. This isn't General Kozu. This is meant to be the giant stone armor, stone warrior. Yeah, he's in a minifig though. They didn't want to make the whole stone warrior. We didn't get that until Legacy. This Zane is the best Skybound figure that we got from this wave from Day of the Departed, because we finally get the titanium Zane hairpiece. Of course, no more coloring the old one with a silver Sharpie. Thank the maker. And I love this torso, the prison suit, just with his exposed heart reactor, whatever you want to call it. And then we just get this little robot guy here that spills tea on Jay's lap and he screams. And it was peak comedy back in Skybound. So nice to get this guy. He has a little helmet, but it kind of covers up a lot of his face. So I think he looks better without it. Moving on to the actual Day of the Departed minifigs, though. This was probably one of the best waves of sets and grouping of minifigs we've ever gotten from the line as a whole in its, what, 13 years of existence now? But one of the worst pieces of media. I mean, it wasn't even a season, it was a special. It was pretty bad, just the lack of focus. The villains don't make any sense. They're just cliche, generic. They brought the old ones back, but with no actual meaning behind it. I think this could have turned out to be something really cool, but instead it just felt like they rushed it. Like, hey, we got to get Cole stop being a ghost before Hands of Time. So they kind of rushed this out. I love Cole's face. He's the only one to get a brand new face print in this wave. This is so goofy. It's just classic Cole. Like, I can see him, you know, looking over at a cake right now. With that face print there. And on the back, we have a more angry version, which is perfect. I love this scar up here. That's just kind of his ghost essence, all contained into this little scar here. And that's what happened during the Departed ritual with Sensei Yang. I love these suits. I've said this a lot, but these ones here are as well regarded as some of the best we've ever gotten from the theme. I think the individualization looks so good with their base colors being used for the torso, legs, and masks. And then the elemental symbols on all the left part of their chests kind of unifies them, as well as all these ropes and straps. It's just, the leg prints all look very similar too. It's just a great job of, again, individuality while also maintaining a sense of unison. And I think that's what a lot of these earlier Ninjago suits as well, a lot of the older, more later ones have done well too, but there's just something so special about these earlier ones. This is the Skybound armor piece, recolored in a dark brown, and then this is the exact same Possession Skybound mask piece, but the colors are different. There's no longer a primary black color. Instead, it's more tailored to each ninja's individual elemental color. My favorite suit from this wave is impossible to choose. I love them all. These might be the best Ninjago suits. Just kidding. Second best. We'll get to the best soon here. But we're going to move these guys all out of the way. Sensei Wu is back with a new torso. No leg printing, which I don't know. I don't think this looks that great without leg printing. I do like getting his bamboo flute as a print on the back. I wish they made this an actual mold, because this is the flute he used to kind of, you know, it messes with the serpentine, dampens their powers just a little bit. So cool to get it as a reference here on the back, but kind of sad we never got it as an official molded piece. This here is a figure that is in absolute desperate need of a remake. This is RX Cole here, and these supercharged earth arms over on the side are something he got from Day of the Departed and have been using ever since. So Day of the Departed was 2016, and Cole uses these earth powers in every season of the show since. So it's been 8 years since fans have been able to make Cole look powered up. And I think for all these new kids coming in with Dragons Rising, you know, rebooting the show, soft reboot, they really do need a way to get these powered up Cole arms, and there just really isn't one on the market right now. You have to go back and buy this expensive Cole minifig. So Lego, if you're watching this, you know, wink wink, hint hints, please give us another RX Cole. Even just the arms. The arms is all I care about. I mean, they're literally translucent with like orange rocks, like that's so cool. And then the torso is really great too, with his elemental earth symbol in the middle. It's the Day of the Departed torso and legs, but there's just like earth just kind of exploding behind it, and it looks so, so good. We get to one of the best Ninjago villain minifigs, but one of the worst Ninjago villains in the show, Yang himself, Sensei Yang. I love the ghost tail piece being reused in this sand green here. This guy, the difference between him and the Possession ghosts is that he's more of a ghoulish green, while those were a translucent green. This guy's not got a translucent head, but I love his head. The beard, same beard as the Temple of Air Jitsu statue of him. And then he's got this really cool lantern on the back that literally meant almost nothing in the show. So 10 out of 10 minifig, I don't know, 4 out of 10 villain in the show. And of course, the big, you know, kind of draw of this wave of sets was that Yang brought back some of the old villains. So he brought back General Cryptor, Chen, Kozu, Pythor, Moro, who was still on shelves in sets at the time, and Samakai. But they didn't put Samakai in this wave of sets. For whatever reason, I don't know why, people really wanted Samakai as a minifig, because a lot of them missed out on him in 2011. And he's a very expensive minifig. And then we thought he would come back with Legacy, but he never did. So LEGO, again, gonna follow this up. If you're watching, give us fans another Samakai, please. But this Cryptor is the inferior Cryptor, in my opinion, because he has no leg print. I don't know why a Cryptor 3 years later is worse than the one that came before. You think it should be an upgrade, but it's just nice to see him again. It's not a huge deal. I believe this Master Chen is an exact, like, reprint of the one we got before, just without a cape, which I'm okay with. Chen looks really, really good. This is a brand new Kozu. Instead of being all red on the legs and torso down here, it's black with red printed on. I don't like this design as much as the other one, but it's nice to get a little bit of a shakeup. And the head itself is the exact same as the old Kozu. And then we got a new white Pythor. Head is the same as the Pythor we got with Tournament of Elements, but the torso and snake tail front print are brand new. I like this. It's more of an elegant robe design, which just fits Pythor as a character. He's more of a, you know, thinks he deserves luxury kind of guy. So I think this suited Pythor really, really well. I liked this figure a lot. Might be the best Pythor figure. Moving over here, we've got Sensei Yang's student, one of his students. The set that we will get to in just a sec with these two Air Jitsu figs back here. Woot woot. This set came with two of this exact same figure. They're just possessed Sensei Yang students, but you can also make them these unpossessed statues here. I think that's a really cool feature. Really great for play, in my opinion. We got a random Anachondri, even though there were no Anachondri in Day of the Departed. This is Izor as an Anachondri figure, or warrior, because he never got one. You can see by the scar on his eye there, but he doesn't have a snake tail, which makes no sense. Whatever. Two new Stone Warrior variants. These guys are cool. We've seen them before, though. And then two new skeleton variants. Again, these guys are pretty similar to the ones we got before. I like them. They're fine. You know, they're skeletons. They're not as cool and as whimsical as they were back when they came out, but it's nice to see them again. I really like getting this Jester hat piece over here on this guy. I think his name was Crazy, K-R-A-Z-I, and this guy might have been Frackjaw, but if I'm getting these wrong, again, you are more than welcome to correct me down in the comments. Wrapping up with Day of the Departed here, we got a new Ronin. This is my favorite Ronin minifig. I use him in my series. We got him with his hairpiece finally, so that's nice. No bamboo hat with no hair on the back. This one looks great. Looks very similar to the last one, but just a little more steampunk-esque, which I very much like. Little Nelson here was introduced in Skybound, so to get him as a minifig here was great. Generic face print underneath, but I don't care. That's what he looks like in the show. Just getting the purple ninja is nice. Really weird that LEGO still had this ninja mask piece in mold rotation. I thought they had thrown it out because we hadn't seen it used since, what, 2011? So really weird to see it. I'm not complaining because it just kind of makes him look more like a kid. I think throwing on one of these masks back here would have looked bad. The back of his torso is very strange. Like, I think this is meant to be his elemental symbol, a squirrel. Like a drawing of a squirrel, and he just pinned it onto himself. It looks weird, but I get what they were going for, even if I don't fully like the design, and at least how it turned out. Last 2 Day of the Departed figs, LEGO went back and completed the Air Jitsu suits. Lloyd here, love that new face print for him. Works so perfectly, especially since we didn't get an NRG Lloyd. I guess technically the Golden Ninja was NRG Lloyd, but I don't count that, so good to get that. And then the Nia, they kept, you know, kind of they kept the same design as the other possession suits. All of them were black with the ninja's elemental accents, except for Nia, who had maroon and dark blue. Love hers here. And then she's got a really nice looking face print underneath. Yeah, Air Jitsu figs were great. And then reflective on the back. All right, let's move on to one of the most hated Ninjago seasons, at least in terms of the show itself. I think the minifigs delivered, but the show itself, Season 7, Hands of Time. I'm not a hater, but I don't think it's very great. I think it has a lot of issues. I think the concept is very, very cool of time travel, all that good stuff. But I think the show really faltered in some of the writing aspects. This is not a video about the show. This is about the minifigs. So let's get into the minifigs. And Lego continuing to just absolutely deliver on ninja suits. These are actually my personal favorite wave of ninja suits. And that could be tied to nostalgia. I started my YouTube channel back when Hands of Time was going. My first Ninjago videos on the channel were Hands of Time stop motions. So I'm a little biased there, but I think these are just so incredibly detailed to the point where it's not over detailed. I don't know if that makes sense. And I like these are the first suits to have like little sandals on. So I think that's really cool. Kai got a new face print. Yes, sir. Finally, a smiling Kai face print. That's not an exclusive Target gift box. He still has the scar, which is weird, but who cares? It looks cool. And then he has these glowing, powered up elemental eyes. So that's really cool. Jay's got the same face print. Zane has a new face print. He's got a little chip up in the upper left corner of his head there, and then no alternate face print, just kind of that design around the back, which I'm fine with. You can just take a minifig from the wave before and put that on the figure here if you want him to have like the, you know, the technology over his eyes. Cole, same face print. Nia gets a new face print. Finally, it's not the city one. It's actually Nia. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Lego. This was very much needed. And then just like Kai, she has these elemental powered up eyes, but she actually looks really angry there. This is awesome. What a great face for Nia. Same Lloyd face that we've been getting since 2013. I don't like this Lloyd face. I mentioned that earlier. I just don't think it looks like him. We don't see Lloyd this angry often, but this would be the last time we'd ever see it because the ninja designs would be changing for the movie, as you will see very soon here. Master Wu is going to be the exact same as the one in the Day of the Departed wave. The only difference is that he now has a tan bamboo hat instead of a gold one. So I just included him. I don't know why. I'm kind of breaking my own rules of, whatever. Moving on, we have got Ray and Maya. Really, really cool because this season introduced Kai and Nia's parents who had been missing for ages. So to finally get them not only in the show, but in minifig form was great. I love that they both kind of represent each of their child's respective elements. Ray with fire. He's got an alternate face on the back. Don't know why there's a bandage there. That was never in the show. Very, very strange. And then Maya, of course, with her own alternate face print as well, of her being very, very scared, which works because they were held in captivity by the Hands of Time for many, many years. We got some more Elemental Masters. Again, Lego continuing to go back and deliver on figures they didn't make for us in the past. We got Ash, Shade, and a new version of Skylar. Very, very cool to get these. I don't even think Skylar... Yeah, none of them have alternate faces. Bit disappointing, but I'm just thankful to have them in existence. I think this is the only figure to ever have a sand blue spiky hairpiece, by the way. So, pretty cool little tidbit there. Moving on, we got a new mystery villain. Sorry, hero. Samurai X. I guess Samurai X was kind of in the middle. Came and helped the ninja a little bit, but wasn't truly on their side. And good job to Lego's marketing team for not spoiling this. Oh, wait, they spoiled it in Sons of Garmadon. But we didn't know who this figure was. We didn't know who was underneath the mask until a year later. So kind of cool to have this mystery build up. And not a lot of people really predicted who it would be. I like the alternate face. It's almost a little creepy, the way the eyes kind of poke out like that. But really great Samurai X figure. This one is worth a lot of money. A lot of these Hands of Time figures are very, very expensive and rare on the aftermarket because the Hands of Time sets were on the market for a very short period of time because they instantly got overwhelmed and bombarded by how many Ninjago movie sets they were. So they all got pushed off the shelves very quickly. I remember seeing the Dawn of Iron Doom for 50, 60, 70% off in stores. Man, I wish I had bought a stockpile of them because the Dawn of Iron Doom goes for $500 sealed, which is insane for a Ninjago set that retailed for, what, 70? Anyways, Hands of Time. These are probably the best two villain minifigs we've ever gotten from the theme. I love how they look, the little green capes. These head things are super cool. They both came with hair pieces, which I don't have at the moment. But we've got Crux and Acronix, and the interesting thing about Acronix is that he has an alternate face. I wish Crux did. but he was posing as the innocent and sweet Dr. Saunders, which is a really stupid twist in my opinion, but it is what it is. Cool to get an alternate face like that. The Hands of Time as characters are a little disappointing. I actually like them still. I would love to see them come back in some form or another. Maybe tied to the merge, I don't know. I don't think we'll ever get that though, because a lot of people hated them in the show. They were a little overly goofy, but I like them, man. They're funny, they're cool. Love time traveling in Ninjago. I think the way they did it turned out very, very well. And these are the most expensive Ninjago villain minifigs, by the way. Each of them are worth about 80 freaking dollars. So if you have the Hands of Time, first of all, be thankful, like I am. And then say a prayer that nothing ever happens to them, because sometimes I'll be sleeping at night and I'll roll over in bed and be like, where are my Hands of Time minifigs? Are they safe? Are they all right? You know what I mean? Like, anyways, yeah, keep these guys safe because we're probably never getting them again. All right, more snake minifigs, another expensive one, General Machia. She's pretty pricey now too. She only came in one set. I really like her. This whole snake, like Medusa looking headdress looks really cool. The only other time we got it was in a CMF series. She's got two faces. They look very, very similar, but at least they gave us two. Then we've got General Ragamunk and General Blunk, I believe it is. These guys were the worst. I'm sorry, but these are the worst part of Hands of Time. These guys were really, really stupid in the show. Overly stupid. I remember one of their jokes being when they failed a villain's plan was the moon got in our eyes. There's a point where you go from silly humor to stupid humor, and they really crossed over the line into stupid humor. But as minifigs, they look phenomenal. I love this new vermilion helmet piece. I know it's snakes for the third time, but these guys are unique and cool. Look at these new armor pieces, the orange, the dark orange, the red. These guys are cool, and the reason that they're so cool is because they're made up of a bunch of different snakes, as you can see on this torso. So little snakes slithering along the ground, all form together into this armor to create like a living snake warrior. That is such a cool idea. I love the snake just roaring out of the back there. I mean, these guys are awesome. And then they have, you know, to signify that they work for the Hands of Time, they have little hand time dials, little dials from a clock over on their torso. I mean, the concept of Hands of Time itself is probably the best concept Ninjago has ever had. However, I really do think they dropped the ball. That doesn't mean the season is bad. I actually do enjoy a lot of aspects of Hands of Time, but I think, again, for how much cool stuff they had at their disposal, they did really drop the ball. Love the generic kind of villain minifigs of this wave. Blunk and Ragamunk are great. Let's get on to the final four Hands of Time minifigs before we jump into the biggest change in Ninjago history. Stay tuned. All right, we have Young Acronics here. These came in a Bricktober minifig pack. Now, if you don't know what that was, Bricktober was a thing that happened in October. Shocker. Back when Toys R Us was still around, and they'd have an exclusive minifig pack. We would see one more of these after this, and you could go buy it for 20 bucks. You get the 4 figures. They sold terribly. No one bought them. And the reason for that, I don't know the reason, but the problem that created, I guess is what I was trying to say, they go for outrageous amounts on the aftermarket. These are each worth $50, $60, $70 on their own. I bought this pack sealed for $150, which is a pretty good deal. I will tell you though, cutting into the seals and opening that up hurt me. So getting a Young Acronics is really, really nice to go along with the other one. Wish they had made a new helmet mold for him because this doesn't make sense. He's not a snake. These are supposed to be absent, but I get it. It's a figure pack. They probably can't make new molds for it. Neuro, Lego going back and giving us more Elemental Masters. Man, I love this figure, and he's been big in my series too. My buddy Zach voicing him has really brought a lot of life, and I think just emotion to the character. So every time I see Neuro, I just think of him in my series and kind of smile, like, man, I like this guy. We have Golden Digi Kai here. So Lego never made Golden Digiverse figures from Rebooted, so this would be the first one we'd get. We'd get one more, and then Lego would forget and never complete the collection. Sad face. But this guy's really cool. I like the Kai face underneath there. It looks really, really good as my chair continues to creak. I have a really old chair. I'm sitting on. So if it's making noise during this, I do apologize. I'm trying the best I can. I love the smirking Kai face though. And this figure was really, really solid for what it was. Then we get one of the white Nindroids that protected the Realm Crystal in Skybound in the Hiroshi's Labyrinth, I believe, deep in the jungle. So cool to get one of these. Nice exclusive face print. Wish we could have army built them though. Wish they came in like a battle pack or something, just because there were so many of them. But with that, we move on to the biggest change in Ninjago history, the Lego Ninjago movie. Lego completely changed the look of the ninja. So Kai here, this is Kai. Yeah, and you want to see what his hair looks like? I'm sure you already know. Look at that. It's kind of a joke. I think Kai is my least favorite of the new designs. A lot of people hated this change. I get why it was done to kind of differentiate the movie from the show. And then the show just kind of stuck with it because they felt like the movie would draw in a large audience, which it did. Don't get me wrong, it did. The Oni trilogy was very successful in my opinion. I saw sets selling well during that era. I don't know about some of the designs here. I think Kai's is really bad. I don't like the bandage that he has. Jay's, I think, is fine. The freckles and the messy hair match him perfectly. Zane's was awful. I'm glad they went back to titanium for him instead of this weird design. Cole's is great. Nia's is great. Lloyd's is great. Some of them are upgrades, in my opinion. Like Lloyd, Nia, Cole, and Jay are all upgrades from their original designs. I still, just that nostalgia in me prefers the original designs, but I'm not one of the people who got mad that they changed them. I'm completely okay with it. These here, as a suit collection, look very, very good. They do a good job of ushering in the new era. Again, Nia with her brand new gunmetal gray base color here. Say goodbye to maroon and light blue, at least for now. They'll come back. But I really liked this wave of minifigs here. 3 of them even got arm printing, which was a first for Ninjago, if I'm not mistaken. So you get some wristbands for Cole, armor for Nia, wristbands for Lloyd. Loved these. I think the idea of giving Lloyd green eyes is one of the best things that the Ninjago movie gave us. Yeah, to be honest, I don't hate the Ninjago movie. The movie itself, I quite enjoyed too. I think it did a good job of ushering in a new era. Love the skirt piece for Nia too with the cloth. Yeah, that's just my opinion though. New Master Wu is great. He has a skirt piece too that's printed. We hadn't really seen much of this before. I like the new face. It's a little goofy, but Master Wu's kind of goofy sometimes, so I'm okay with this. Really good design for him as well. Moving on, we finally get casual versions of the ninja, even though they're not in the designs we wanted. We had always wanted casual ninja. So to get them with these new designs right out the gate was great, especially because it gave us a way to get all of their hair pieces like that. Lego didn't wait until season 3, back like they did with the OG wave. So I really appreciate that, especially since all of these hair pieces, brand new, absolutely brand new molds. So huge props to the design team for that. This movie, this wave of sets obviously had a very big budget to work with compared to a normal line of Ninjago sets. Again, I just hate Kai's hairpiece. It's too goofy for me. This Kai here is the only casual suit to have arm printing. I think that's because he came in Ninjago City, which goes for $1,000 sealed. Absolutely outrageous. This Kai minifig's worth like $100 on its own. So again, treating this one very carefully. Yeah, Ninjago City. Jay, Zane, and Cole here came in a collectible minifigure series, the only Ninjago minifig series we've got, which was for the movie. So very nice to get them. Zane came with a backpack, but I took it off because that was inaccurate to his actual design. And again, Cole, Jay, Zane, these are all different faces for them too. I think that was another thing I really liked about getting these casual outfits is some of the ninja got exclusive face prints for them. So this one for Cole and Jay, those work really well for their characters. Even all of these years later. Love Nia's with the leather jacket and the jeans with ripped holes in them. This is the same Nia face we got in this wave, you know, one where she's kind of frowning and then one where she's super happy. Lloyd looks great. This is actually the torso I use for my sig fig, so I have a little bit of a connection to this figure. Lloyd got an exclusive face, even though Nia didn't. They both came in a $20 set. He's smiling, and then he's kind of drifting off with that second face. He looks a little sleepy, a little happy there. These next 3 figures, you're probably thinking, what is going on? Missing a head, missing a hairpiece, what's going on? Let me explain. These 2 figures here came in different like battle pod and polybag sets. Every ninja got their own. The thing about them was every ninja that got a white one, same torso and legs. It was just a swap of the face. And every ninja that got this black suit here, same thing. Swap of the face print and hairpiece. So I didn't include one for every ninja because they're all the same. They're all like this print, which both are cool prints, but it's kind of lame to get a same suit thing for every ninja. Although it makes sense in terms of training. Zane's hairpiece I just lost. That's why it's not there. This suit here came in a poly bag. I believe this was, no, this one. This one came with a Ninjago movie video game. And there's literally the only thing exclusive is this helmet piece, like a Kendo Lloyd. I don't get why this figure exists, but it's cool. I'll take it. This one I don't know. He came in a poly bag, but I don't remember what it was for. It might have been a promo. And he came with an exclusive frown face. Like a face where he's, you know, upset, frowning, but I'm currently using that for stop motion, so I didn't put it here, to be quite frank. Anyways, moving on, we're going to kind of get into all the casual civilians here, and that was probably the strong suit of the Ninjago movie minifigs, is we got so many civilians. Cole here got a different casual suit that came in the Ninjago City docks, which was quite cool to see. Again, the thing with the civilians, I got so many comments from you guys saying, include the Ninjago movie, as my power goes out on my lights there. Hey, like I said, you're sticking with me for this whole video, mistakes and all. Let's turn that back on. This guy here, I lost my train of thought. Okay, let's get back to this. You guys all commented for the Ninjago movie. Oh, I want to see the Ninjago movie minifigs. So I had to go and buy all of them. And the issue with that is there were so many exclusive civilian minifigs that cost like outrageous amounts of money. I mean, the only thing exclusive about this guy was his face print here. A lot of them were cheaper. They were kind of in the $5 to $10 range. But the two I want to highlight that were expensive are these two right here, because they only came in a very large expensive set that didn't sell well. And that retired very, very quickly. And I noticed my background is absolutely falling apart. There's sticky tack holding it up, falling out. Yeah, this video is unscripted, can you tell? Anyways, this guy costs like $30. So what I did to not have to spend $30 is I bought the hot dog piece and I bought the face. The face itself was like $7. And then I put... Don't tell anyone. I put the wrong torso underneath, but since you can't even see it, I don't think it matters. He also has that face, a little more upset. And then this character here costs 20 bucks. I think it's just the M-Tron torso. A lot of people think that's cool. This is also the only time we've seen like dental wear like this on a Lego figure, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's a good representation of that. That could be another reason as well. Lots more civilians here. I really like this scared guy over on the right. He came in the docks. This could be used for a Dareth torso and legs if you really wanted to. And then he's got a little more calmer face print. We've got my boy Colin. A random Ninjago movie citizen right here. He uses the exact same face as a custom character called Colin in my Ninjago series. And then he has this new hairpiece for no reason at all, which I will take. More civilians, you know, they're kind of self-explanatory at this point. I love the Green Ninja shirt on this guy and the print on it. That is the Green Ninja with his kimonos from the final battle. More figures. We got Mother Doomsday finally in minifig form, except he's wearing a Galador shirt, which is really funny. It's a crappy old Lego theme that did not do well. They looked like dolls, the figures, and I think that's part of why they didn't sell well. But again, I went through and made sure I had every Ninjago movie civilian minifig for you guys, because I want this to be a complete collection. So I don't have too much to say about them because they're just civilians, but this is a complete Ninjago collection, minifig collection. So you got to do what you got to do, right? We got Fred Finley. He looks a lot like Lou, who's Cole's father. No alternate face print there. This guy only came in one set as well, but I was able to piece him together. We've got Ed and Edna, Jay's parents, finally in minifig form. This was a really cool thing that the movie did, along with Mother Doomsday. They came in Jay's jet. They weren't even in the movie, but I think Lego was like, all right, people are going to want these figures. Let's make them. So really nice to get them there. We got a sushi chef from the CMF series. We got little Nelson with the cast. So cool to see Nelson back, even if it is that torso print that we've already seen. Coco, this was the new version of Misako. Misako stayed the same in the show. They didn't change her design because that would make no logical sense. She looks younger than Lloyd. Like, she could be Lloyd's girlfriend, but yeah, sure, that's his mom. I absolutely adore this new hairpiece with the chopsticks holding up her bun in the back. Absolutely great minifig, but just a little strange that that's his mom. More random civilian variants. These guys over here are cool. Again, they have exclusive torso or face prints that make them unique. Again, gotta have them all, even if it's like one thing is exclusive about them, but they still have to be added to the collection. You know what I'm saying? Get those guys all out of the way and we'll keep moving through. We got Dareth over here returning, but it is that very, very lame torso like Nelson had, that a bunch of other minifigs had, all the ninja. Kind of wish we got a new torso and legs, but I'll take a Dareth cameo every day of the week. Crab Chef, love this guy. It's actually the same leg print from the Temple of Air Jitsu. We've got Coco here as Lady Iron Dragon. This is kind of her alternate fighting persona. This could have been an all-timer Ninjago minifig. I mean, this is a brand new hairpiece they introduced for her. She's got a cloth cape. This is a brand new armor piece with an arrow in the back. But look at that face print, man. Whose idea was this? To print a yellow face onto a black head? You need at least 2-3 layers of paint for that to work, but they only did the one layer. I mean, look at the difference compared to the yellow hands. Looks awful. This could have been a 10 out of 10 figure, but it's just not. You can just take a Coco minifig and put her actual face on there, and I think it works just fine. But really weird execution from Lego there. We've got some new Garmadons for the Ninjago movie because our boy Garmadon is back. Love the cape piece here for him. It's really, really strange, but I'll take it. This is a new upper torso piece for him. I think that's very cool. He has this brand new helmet piece here, and he's kind of smirking, laughing there. Ha ha ha, Garmadon. Jungle Garmadon over on the left here, he has this brand new bamboo hat piece that all the civilians had as well. New cloth element. And then this upper torso piece is the same one from Rise of the Snakes Garmadon. They just reversed it and printed it, which is ingenious, by the way. Look at all of his chest hair. This is so goofy. I don't know why Lego did this, but I guess it's pretty funny. And then I like his kind of angry expression here. That's the best part of Jungle Garmadon, is you get this unique angry Garmadon that works really well with the other movie one. But the chest hair, weird. Also, he has an, what? Is that like a 12-pack or something? Like, they didn't hold back on the goofiness. And you know what? I can kind of respect that. The villains for the movie were aquatic, like, warriors, which I think's cool. A lot of people didn't like them. I think it's kind of funny. I mean, look at all these unique head molds they made for them. The shark head here is hard plastic, but most of them were rubber. Like, you can see how I can kind of move the tentacles around. Hard plastic, and then these two over here were rubber. Interesting thing about this pufferfish warrior, she was like $30 solely because of this pufferfish piece. She only came in one set that didn't, or I guess it's a him. That's totally my bad. He only came in one set that did not sell well. So really, I just remember being really annoyed when I bought this minifig and being like, $30? But again, this is a collection video. It is what it is. And then I like this one. This is probably my favorite. I love just this little kind of shrimp, crab, whatever you want to call it, headdress. It's very, very funny. And that was kind of the goal of these guys, at least from my point of view. And I think they did a good enough job with them. Then you get this jellyfish guy. I love how he's this little like bubble on his head that's meant to kind of be the, you know, the main torso of the jellyfish, and then the legs are hanging down out of his torso. And then the two generic goons are the worst part of this army. They just look like, I don't know, tactical agents with little beanies on. I don't like them. I think they look really boring and don't fit into what the other sea-themed guys, but these guys came in bulk, and a dime a dozen. But it is what it is. Moving on to the CMF, the collectible minifigs, at least the ones that haven't been shown yet. We got a casual Lloyd with a hood piece. That's the only exclusive thing about him. We got just a generic Ninjago movie Lloyd minifig, which was really disappointing because we got those in the sets. But wait for it, ladies and gents. There is something exclusive here. The face. But you're saying, Ethan, that's the face we see on every Lloyd minifig. Au contraire, there is no alternate face of him being angry, which is on every other face print we've gotten of this before. So really, really weird choice here. I don't know why they did that, but at this point, I don't know. It's just, it is what it is, as the background just completely falls apart in the background. We got the twins, Kai and Nia. Kai had an exclusive face print. Everything else was not new, except for the helmet. Great face print for Kai, though. It fits him very, very well. Nia might be the worst figure in the series, I guess, besides Lloyd. It's the generic torso and legs we've seen. The only thing unique is the face print, because there's no alternate face print of her being angry. So it's just a worse version of Nia, but I guess nice to get her hairpiece. The Coco is one of the best figures getting this hairpiece for cheap, because the other Coco only came in Ninjago City, which is a $1,000 set right now. It retailed for $300 back in the day, but you know how the Lego market works nowadays. Really good figure. The difference is this one just had more detailed torso printing, and the other one didn't have leg printing. We've got like the Ninjago, I don't know. I think it's like a N-pop girl instead of K-pop. I think that's what they called her, you know, kind of a joke. I really like this hairpiece. It just looks like cotton candy. Love the Unikitty reference on her torso from the OG Lego movie. This figure is just kind of an explosion of colors. Man, this video is falling apart just like the background behind me. Okay, we're gonna cut and fix that. But yeah, a really solid figure. I love the explosion of color, and this is probably someone you would find at an anime con. We got 3 Garmadons in the movie series, which was very strange. This one here is an exact, everything's the same. This face print is from Jungle Garmadon. This is from the normal movie design. The only exclusive thing was this black bamboo hat piece. Again, this was a very strange collectible minifigure series, but I'll take a $4 way to get a Garmadon figure. The pajama one is awesome, one of the best. Arm printing, they went all out with this guy. Really love the face print. It's the same one as the other, same helmet too. But again, really, really funny with the pajamas. And then the business one, dual molded arms. I mean, some of the figures they went all out on, and then some of them are just completely lazy. It was very, very strange to me. I love that he has sunglasses on. I love just the swept-backed blonde hair. Again, this is meant to be goofy. Look how long that tie is. I think it fully delivers on goofiness. We have one of the shark generals that got blasted out of Garmadon's lair, fell into a volcano. Again, arm printing. Some of the figures, side leg printing. Some of the figures they go all out on in this collectible minifig series. Exclusive face print. And then look how many like sea-themed medals he has on his chest. That is so funny. I don't know. The Ninjago movie CMF series did goofiness really, really well, didn't it? Speaking of goofiness, another shark general over here. I love the cape on her. It's so funny. I don't even know what sea creature this is trying to evoke. I want to say manta ray, but I'm not quite sure. She has a sea-themed medal as well as these sparkly kind of scales all over her legs. We got a Garmadon tech. She works in his volcano lair as a tech. I love the Batman shirt underneath. That's a really cool reference. Dual molded legs. We got another shark general. This guy actually did not appear in the CMF series. He came in Garmadon's lair, that set. But a really cool figure overall. Again, it's the same torso as the other shark guy, except his is all burnt up. This is just him, you know, before he gets thrown out of the volcano. This pufferfish girl came in the CMF series. It's just a sand green version of the pufferfish. This is the cheap one. Again, nice molded rubber there. I like her face print. The face print and the fish piece are the only unique parts of her. We got another Garmadon tech from the lair. Love his face underneath with the giant glasses, and the tie-dye shirt is very, very funny, and it says GIT, which is, I believe, Garmadon Institute of Technology, if I'm not mistaken. The last CMF figure we have is the rocker here. Arm printing, dual molded legs, great figure that works outside of Ninjago, which most of the figures in that wave didn't, and he has an alternate face where he's just rocking out. No back torso printing, but I don't care because the hairpiece goes over it. Last Ninjago movie minifig we have is Mistake, and this is probably the worst Ninjago movie minifig because it looks nothing like Mistake. The torso is wrong. I mean, I don't know if you can call the legs wrong. I don't remember if her legs were brown or not, but the worst part is the face print. Mistake never wore glasses. I mean, the insane budget that went to the Ninjago movie and the minifigs with it, but they couldn't make a good Mistake is kind of funny. I have to laugh at it. I hope one day we get a proper Mistake because she was such a huge part of the Oni trilogy. Really nice to get her, though. Speaking of the Oni trilogy, let's begin. This is the first time the show returned after we had a year-long gap after Hands of Time for all of the Ninjago movie sets and the Ninjago movie itself. And then the show returned much more mature than before. And of course, they would ditch this maturity after the Oni trilogy, but for when it lasted, everyone loved it, including myself. These suits look really, really good. I like them. I think kind of the bold color choices for each really stands out. Of course, these are the Ninjago movie faces and cowls that we saw from the last wave, kind of translating over into the show. These are their new designs that are going to be sticking around for quite a while. The only new face print is Zane's. They stuck with his titanium face. I do appreciate that. I hate this Zane head with a passion, though. We've been getting it for, what? These came out in 2018. 6 years now. Zane isn't this angry very often. Like, it's a good face for every now and then, but not for every Zane minifig, man. I think the one we should get should be a little more serious one because Zane doesn't really have a lot of emotion. I mean, that's kind of part of being a robot, at least in my opinion, but it is what it is. And then, of course, Master Wu we have over here because he was a baby. So we got this little baby figure for Master Wu. We've got all of these Spinjitzu Master Ninja. These came out with the Sons of Garmadon wave of sets. I don't know if they were meant to be a part of them or meant to be a part of the movie. Either way, I do not like them very much. I think it's too much on the torso to the point where it looks goofy, like a ton of ice shards, like a fire flame just bursting out of his chest. Like, I think it's a little too much. All the leg print being the same is really lame too, and the fact that none of them have powered up elemental faces. I just don't like these figures, man. I think they're really lazy because the only exclusive part is the torso, and you had to pay $10 for a crappy little gimmick set to get them. Moving on with Sons of Garmadon, we have Snake Jaguar, aka Zane, when he snuck into the SOG headquarters. This is when he goes into his human form. Again, it's Ninjago movie face and hair with the SOG garb on. Looks really cool. We got a new Samurai X. This one's spoiled Pixel being Samurai X, which was really, really dumb and a terrible decision by Lego. The figure is fine. The torso and legs are cool. Kind of looks like USA colors, red, white, and blue. This face print is really bad, though. Again, it's that white printed onto a black head print. This was the last time we'd see it. Thank the first Spinjitzu Master, because it just looks really bad. The main villains for Sons of Garmadon, we have 3 of them. The first one being Ultraviolet. I really like that we're getting a female villain here because we haven't really had much of them in the past, especially as main villains. She looks great. This is her powered up with the Oni mask, which is a new piece. Love how that looks. This armor piece is from Nexo Knights, but I think it works here for the powered up version of the Mask of Hatred. Moving on, we have Mr. E, who's probably my favorite of the Sons of Garmadon generals. I think he looks really, really cool. Wish they had gone through with him being Echo Zane. They cut that from the show because they felt like it took away too much, but I don't think so. We got the G for Garmadon, and yeah, just a really creepy looking kind of mystery face. Of course, we know he's a robot because he got destroyed. And then this is him powered up, 4 arms again, with the Mask of Vengeance. And then we have the only other Ninjago Big Fig, Lego. Give us more Ninjago Big Figs. Anyways, this is Kilo. I think in the show he was Kilo, but I know a lot of people call him Kilo, including myself. He looks really, really cool with the Mask of Deception, and you can just pop that right off to get his normal Kilo look, which I think is cool. I love the angry face underneath. It's a very strange decision to give him a minifig head on such a huge body. We had never really seen that from Big Figs, but I think it surprisingly works and doesn't look too stupid. He still looks pretty intimidating. I love all of this tattoo printing on his arm here. Looks great, and then he has a butt crack for some odd reason and really pronounced cheeks back there. Man is absolutely caked up. Really funny to see that from Lego there. The Sons of Garmadon goons were kind of lame, but I don't care. They fit the vibe of the season they were going for. Yes, they're lame, but you know, 2 different torso prints and kind of some different looking goons here. We didn't really get any female Sons of Garmadon goons, which I don't get, but it is what it is. I think the best face print, though, is this kind of one with the paint on it. It looks really creepy. It looks almost like a skull. And then, of course, we have the big baddie who comes back at the end of the season. He gets resurrected, Garmadon himself. And he literally has, I can't believe LEGO did this. He literally has like his rib cage showing and like purple blood dripping from him. I'm really surprised LEGO went through with that for him, but I'm not complaining. It looks great. I think the face print is a really bad choice. I think they should have chosen the Jungle Garmadon face where he's really angry, because Garmadon was not a goofy, happy person like he appears to be in this season. He was very evil. All right, Hutchins and Harumi. Hutchins being a cheap figure, Harumi being one of the most expensive from the theme. For good reason, look at that cape. She uses the Lady Iron Dragon headdress in white and gold now. The printing on her face actually works because it's white on yellow. Light on light works. Looks very, very good. I can't believe we still don't have a casual Harumi minifig 6 years later, because Harumi was such a big part of not only Sons of Garmadon, but of the Oni trilogy. She's also one of the best villains in the entire history of the show. So to not have the casual version of her, which was seen much, much more than this royal version, is really strange to me. Hutchins is really cool. I liked the bait and switch with us thinking he's a villain and then he's not. But I don't know, getting him as a figure was kind of strange, but I will take it. Moving on, that's all we had for SOG, a very small wave of sets. Hunted ramped things up back a little bit. This one was a bit of a risk for LEGO because these are damaged versions of the SOG suits. They aren't, you know, brand new suits. So it was a little bit risky to do this. I think it paid off. It made canonical sense in the show because they were in a different realm and they couldn't get new suits there. I really like these. I think my favorite one has got to be Cole's, though. I love how his shirt's like kind of ripped open at the top. You can see some scarring there. Really good minifigs. I think the weakest one is Kai. I don't love, it just feels a little too distracting with the chainmail, the leather, the suit. I think it's a little too much. But these worked really well for what they are. I don't love them. They're not my favorite suits of all time. But in the context of the show, they work perfectly. Moving along with these minifigs here, we've got Lloyd and Nia over here. Nia's bald because I lost her mask piece, which is really unfortunate. But these are the Woo Crew suits because Nia and Lloyd were still in Ninjago at the time. And something interesting, I don't know if I brought this up in the last collection video. I would love to see LEGO come back and complete the Woo Crew suits and give them to Kai J, Zane, and Lloyd so they could fit in with these two, because I really like the concept. You know, you have the Woo Crew logo there very subtly, but these are really, really solid suits. Nia continuing with that gunmetal gray color for one last time. Or is it one last time? We'll see. Solid suits. Master Wu's a teenager now, not a baby anymore. Love getting the Cole man bun piece for him here, and the mustache and goatee is really funny. He's kind of in this dragon hunter armor here because that's where they are in the first realm. These suits are strange. These are the, I don't know, aviation suits. They came in these $15 dragon flyers, which were outrageously priced for a gimmick set, and they sold terribly. But, you know, being the Ninjago fan I am, I bought them all. Really cool. Like, I think they're cool. They look great for what they're trying to be. Like, they look like they're about to hop out of a plane. And you can kind of see that with the backpack attachments. I love the dragon symbol on the back. I think that just looks incredibly cool. Really weird that Zane had his human face here, by the way. The dragon symbol looks great. These are all really good minifigs, but they weren't in the show. I don't know why they exist. And it's not like there was just one. There were 5 dragon flyers sold. I think the best one is easily Woo's. I mean, Golden Ninja, like, come on, who doesn't like a Golden Ninja? And I think the integration of the white kind of to, you know, signify him more as Woo, really, really looks good here. All right, cruising right along. We've got another Woo minifig. This was, I don't know, I think this was a Woo season. And his golden dragon armor here, new piece for the dragon armor, looks great. More gold, I will always take it, like this little stickered flag at the back. Skylar is back for one of the few times. She looks great, except no leg printing, does look a bit awkward, and we would see this again for Crystallize. I don't know why they don't give her leg printing. The utility belt is fine. I think it's a cool enough idea. but again, it just looks odd without the leg printing. And then, of course, we get this angry face for her on the back. Great to see Skylar back. I'll take it, even if it's not a perfect minifig. The villains were the Dragon Hunters. I really liked these guys. Again, these guys fall into the category of unique villains. They're not all the same, kind of like the Wolf Mask wearers are. Man, I keep trashing on them. I like the Wolf Mask wearers, but they're not as good as a lot of these other ones. Iron Baron was an awesome villain. I love the top hat. This is a new armor piece for all of them here. You can have it backwards facing or forwards facing. You can put a little knife in there, which is really cool. They introduced these new knife pieces for the wave, but we've got Iron Baron, Heavy Metal, who we never got a version of her unmasked. Most of the season was her unmasked. It was a female underneath, and she helped out the ninja. So hopefully we get that one day. We've got Chew Toy. This guy's so funny. I love his face. We've got just generic Dragon Hunter, Warrior, or whatever you want to call him. We've got Arcade, A-R-K-A-D-E. They spelled it wrong because they do that with a lot of their villains, just to kind of, you know, signify them as separate. I love this guy. I love the little slot machine on his chest. In the show, that slot machine will kind of ring around. It doesn't really do anything. And then he has this exclusively printed welding mask here. And then just a generic Dragon Warrior face underneath. We got Jet Jack. She's pretty cool. I like the mohawk here. Last time we saw that was with Izor, I believe. And then she's got this little built jetpack, and she kind of flies around with that. And then this is Daddy No Legs instead of Daddy Long Legs. Again, classic Lego humor. This guy's cool. The face print is unique, of course, and he can just scuttle around like that. Harumi. Hello there. This is Harumi. Not casual Harumi, but we will take it. This is her in her villain form that we saw at the end of Season 8 and into Season 9. Really good figure here. The red paint across her eyes, are those scars or is that paint? Like, I still, to this day, don't know why there's red across her eyes. Is it just to make her look scarier? I mean, it makes her look more villainous. I'm just kind of confused as to how it got there. Does she just put on red paint every morning? I mean, if anyone knows, please let me know down in the comments. Or are they just like burn scars? I don't know, man. Anyways, the last few figures for the year are very, very strange. This was the final Bricktober pack we would get. I know I mentioned that earlier. We got Future J, best figure in the pack by far. The hairpiece is a little weird because it doesn't match the color of his facial hair. But overall, he has side arm printing, side leg printing. This is a phenomenal minifig that so many people have used in their Ninjago stop motions, including myself, and for good reason. We got Nia from Tournament of Elements in her Kabuki mask. Looks really good. She has her printed wristband on that she used a lot in the earlier seasons. I love the face print. I mean, it's just beautiful, the dragon. I mean, it's a kimono. It's going to be beautiful. And then she has this alternate, very Nia-esque, kind of confident smirk on the back there. The Sons of Garmadon gang member is a poor inclusion in my choice. Like, don't get me wrong, I love getting more Sons of Garmadon figures, but there's so many other figures they could have chosen, like Casual Harumi, Dr. Julian, you know, a lot of other people. I like the arm printing, though, and the chain along the leg there. This guy's just, you know, he's good for what he is, but I just don't really know if he needed to exist when they had the opportunity to make something else. Same with this powered-up Harumi. Again, I'm glad it exists. I just don't know if it needed to. Like, again, a lot of other figures we could have gotten. But side arm and side leg printing, beautiful. I love her face underneath. And an angry one, of course. And then the Mask of Hatred is just a little bit different than the other one because the mouth is open just partially. I think that's really cool. The last figure we would get in this year is this Master Wu here. He came in a book. I don't know why he's young. We never saw him in an outfit like this in the show. Yeah, a very strange non-canon minifig to wrap up this year for this base plate. But with Wu off to the side, let's move on to Legacy. All right, so to start off the fantastic year of 2019, we got Ninjago Legacy. Now, these coincided with Season 10 of the show, March of the Oni, but we did not get March of the Oni sets. Instead, we got Legacy sets, which were remakes of old Ninjago sets, or sets we had never gotten before. And they had updated minifigs to kind of match the current style of the show. However, these suits here were the ones that were used in March of the Oni. And these are actually my second favorite wave of Ninjago suits ever made. I love how much they tie into designs from all of the earlier suits, especially Cole's here. This reminds me a lot of his ZX suit, or sorry, ZX. What's great about these is they introduced this brand new mask piece here. This is what, the 4th or 5th time we've seen a new mask piece from this theme? Now, a lot of people did not like these because the ninja wrap piece on the back hangs down just a little bit, so you can't move this around, and you can't put the older ZX style of armor on these suits. However, you can put skybound armor on them, I believe, but if that is false, then they did make a new armor piece in the next season to put on them. To be quite frank, I loved these new mask pieces. I thought they looked even better than the old style of mask pieces. In fact, these are still my favorite mask pieces to this day. I think they look very, very good. This is, again, my second favorite wave of suits here. I have many good memories with them. And just the idea of Ninjago Legacy is so, so good for fans of the show who are newer but missed out on some of the older sets back in the day. Weird thing, though, is giving Zane his human head again. I don't know why, when the last 2 waves had his titanium head. It's weird. I mean, it keeps them more in unison with the rest of the ninja, but I just think the titanium looks a lot better than that head did there. For Master Wu, they remade arguably the best Master Wu figure from all the way back in the beginning, which is, what, hour and a half ago at this point? I'm losing track of time. But this figure, they remade him. I love the updated dragon design on the back with the newer Ninjago movie Wu. Just great to get this figure updated. We got a brand new Samurai X along with a new Ninja Nia, which, by the way, goodbye Gunmetal Gray, at least just for this wave of sets. We're back to her possession colors, which I think was just meant to be part of the legacy idea of flashing back to older characters and their designs. Samurai X is really, really cool to get. Again, same Nia face as we've been getting before. Recolor of the old Samurai armor piece. And then I really like this torso print underneath here with the Phoenix symbol on it from the early days of her character. So again, for fans, longtime fans of the show, these were really cool to see come back in this newer, updated style. Lloyd here, we got a brand new Golden Ninja, and this one honestly looks better than the other one. I love the dragon heads right there. I think that's really, really cool. I love the incorporation of the dark green. He's got the newer mask piece, of course, and then he has a gold head underneath that looks good. I love kind of the more frowning, and then you've got a really angry, powered up, like golden energies just kind of exploding out of his eyes there, and I just absolutely love how that looks. So 10 out of 10 on the Golden Ninja remake. I think they nailed it. Garmadon comes back. He looks the exact same as the one from Season 2, except his face is different. He has, like, vampire fangs now. I don't love this design, but I think it works. It's something different for Garmadon, at least in terms of the face, but really strange that they kind of reused all the other pieces. These new skeletons look really, really bad. There's one reason for that. They don't have the boots. They have the normal skeleton feet, so they look kind of naked. This is what LEGO didn't do in the original wave of sets, so I don't get why they didn't bring them back. This is a new head mold for these skeletons here. I think it looks fine. I don't like it as much as the original ones. I liked how bulky those were. I thought it was funny. These guys are weird to me. Not the best remakes, but I'll take it because we got to see the skeletons come back, which, again, as a kid growing up with this, nostalgia is going to get me every time. I'm sure many of you know how that goes. We got one more skeleton here with Knuckle. For some reason, he has a mohawk, a tan mohawk. I don't know why, but okay. We got a new Pythor, a new purple Pythor at that. Very, very nice to see this figure back. He was a very hard one to get back in the day, even harder to get now. He only came in one set in his purple variant, so to get an updated printed one is nice. I love these two Venomari soldiers here. It's weird that these are the only snakes we got. We didn't get any Fangpyre, Constricti, or Hypnobrai in this wave. Spitta looks really good. I mean, he does kind of look like a Ninja Turtle with that torso. Like, that looks like a TMNT torso. And then the face print for this guy is really stupid and goofy, but I don't mind. These guys are funny. I'll take it. The Overlord is probably the best legacy villain we got. I don't know, maybe besides Pythor. He has 4 arms just because it looks cool. Don't question it. He's got a ghost tail. And then I love that translucent face print. I mean, he's got like fangs and glowing eyes. And this Overlord is awesome. I almost wish he was canon to the show. The updated Kozu looks good. Again, this one reminds me a lot of the Day of the Departed version. This is the exact same head as the one we've been getting since 2013. So that's cool. Yeah, he uses more of the black and then just red printed on it, which I think looks really solid. The Stone Warriors had this new armor piece here, which just kind of sits on like pauldrons on the shoulder. It doesn't have anything coming out the front or back, and I think that's really, really useful. I like that quite a bit. And we got 3 different variants of the Stone Warrior here. And then the last villains that we got for the Legacy Wave are going to be these Nindroids. These are the weakest ones, in my opinion. They have no leg printing, really minimal torso. The faces are too overly goofy, in my opinion, but I do at least appreciate that they brought back the Nindroid head wraps there, because those are really, really cool designs. As I chug some water in the back here, I've been talking for a long time. We're going to move on to the Oni. These are not legacy villains. These were, of course, part of March of the Oni, season 10 of the show. These guys look phenomenal. They only came in a 3-pack, so you got this guy, and this guy in a 3-pack. And of course, that was exclusive to the Lego store, and it sold for a very short period of time. So these guys are incredibly expensive on the aftermarket, unfortunately. It's sad to see because they were such a big part of the Oni trilogy. I mean, it was named after them. So for them to be as hard as they are now to get is really sad for fans who don't have them. I'm very lucky to have them. For Omega here, I just added this cape from Lego Movie 2. It's the Batman cape, and that's how I created this custom Omega minifigure. But moving all of the Oni off to the side and being careful while I do it, because they're expensive, we move on to Season 11, which is one of my favorite Ninjago seasons. That's going to be a crazy take for y'all in the comments, because I know the season is widely hated. But the sets were good. I think everyone can agree that the sets were really, really good. Might be my favorite Ninjago set wave of all time, but that's probably because it ties into Eternal Winter. I remember getting them almost 2 months early from overseas. And then I have a lot of good memories making that stop motion season. These suits are really solid. I think the smiley face badge on Jay's is kind of a nice touch. I think it's really funny. I just love the simplicity. These go back to simplistic, whereas some of the more recent ones were pretty overly detailed. So I like the simplicity on these ones. Same mask ones. Molds as the legacy variants, but now they have a printed symbol on the top of the ninja head wrap, and then they have these brand new armor pieces which work with these new ninja head wraps. You can only put 1 sword in them, which is a little bit disappointing. I do really like this detail molded onto the shoulder though. I mean, the little shuriken there, it looks really great, and I think the darker silver was a really good color choice for all of the armor here. Then we get the only Master Wu minifig to have a cape. Coincidentally, this Master Wu minifig is also the most expensive one of all time on the aftermarket. He goes for like $40, $50 if I remember correctly. He only came in 1 set. I love the cape. It's really fuzzy on the back. And he has this new head print with like a braid, kind of like his father had in the back. I'm really sad they took that away for the Dragon's Rising era of Ninjago. I think that was a cool touch. We didn't get very many Master Wu minifigs during the Wild Brain era. I love the brown and the darker maroon color introduced here. I think that really makes him stand out from the other Master Wu minifigs. So really solid job with this Master Wu here. Moving on, we did get a very strange lineup of figures for the powered-up versions of the Ninja. These are the Forbidden Spinjitzu Ninja, and it's the same torso, leg, head prints as the actual suits in the wave, but they all have unique little flaming mask pieces here that came in all the different sets. And as a collector myself, I was giddy over this. I was like so excited because we got for almost every Ninja, we got 3 different suit variants, which again is very, very rare. I don't know if that's even happened before. So collecting all of the sets made me happy because I was able to get all of these. And then in the gimmick sets, we got 4, not all 6 of the Ninja, sadly. We got 4 Ninja with, again, exclusive torso prints. These are exclusive colors for their mask pieces, with the gold and silver integrated. And then they got new faces too. And the thing about these new faces, yes, it's new powered up faces. Very nice, very cool. But they had alternate faces. Look at that. A smiling Ninjago movie Kai. Smiling Jay. Smiling Zane. And a smirking Lloyd. These are all so incredibly useful, and it took way too long for these to get here. I remember just losing my mind when these came out, because as someone who makes stop motion, having more faces to show different expressions is absolutely huge. So really, really happy with those figures there. This is the return of Clutch Powers. I know a lot of people hated that they changed his character in the show to be kind of just a washed up, cocky, kind of not really caring about anyone else. I thought it was funny. I just kind of view this as a different character than the guy in the Clutch Powers movie, and I think that's how you should do it, because it just makes him work better. I love the utility belt. The eye patch is really funny. It's funnier because of the second face print where he lifts it up and is like, kind of acting cheeky, like you weren't supposed to see that. It's pretty funny. Really, really cool minifig. I remember being so excited to see him back. This was the most excited I have ever been for a wave of sets, was these season 11 sets here, and for good reason. Akita, one of the most expensive Ninjago minifigs. Look at that unique cape piece, the unique hair and helmet. I think this is an $80, $90, $100 figure at this point. Love kind of the whiskers there, and then on the back she's kind of smirking as she's, I think that face works perfectly when she's holding up the knife. But I really liked Akita on the show. I would love to see her come back. I think the fact that she could transform into a wolf was a really cool idea. The formlings were awesome. I loved the ice chapter. The wolf head can move up and down, and you can kind of lock it into position so it doesn't move as much when it's up there. Really cool. The 3 tails was very unique. And of course, that was communicated with the cape as well. So really like Akita. Again, the side character minifigs, Clutch Powers and Akita, were actually goated for this wave. I can't believe I'm saying goated in a video. We've got the Pyro Snakes here. These guys are only half of the villains. We got 2 separate villain factions, which was really, really cool, unprecedented at the time. I love these snakes here. It's a really cool reuse of the idea of snakes for them to be brought back to life by fire. I think that's kind of cool, and that kind of takes over their mummified corpses. This new kind of almost ancient Egyptian armor piece looks good, and there were a couple different variants. So of course we had Asphira. I think my biggest issue is that they use a ghost tail piece instead of the snake tail. Why? My theory is that they were just lazy and didn't want to make a new snake tail mold, because they'd probably thrown the other one out at this time and were like, oh, ghost tail works. I don't think it works. And then Asphira needed pupils as well. I mean, I know this head mold is already very, very complicated as it is, but it just doesn't fully look like Asphira without the pupils. But besides that, really solid figure overall. She looks awesome. This is, I think his name starts with a C, but I can't remember. I want to say Chop, but that's not his name. He was really goofy in the show. I think him missing pupils is another problem. I guess I'm eating my own words. They still had the snake tail piece. Why didn't they give Asphira a snake tail? What? Okay. Anyways, yeah, a cool snake minifig. We got 2 different variants of the Pyro Snakes here. We got one with flames coming out the side, and then this one is there's only one of him. We got multiple of the flame ones here. This guy came in one set. That was the Kai Ninja Charger vehicle. And he didn't have flames on the side of his head. Why? I don't know, but cool minifig nonetheless. I like getting exclusive variants like that as a collector. Ice Emperor. Lots of fond memories with this guy. He's my favorite villain I've ever written. I wrote him into a custom Ninjago season of my own that I made on my channel back, what, 5 years now? Time flies. Phenomenal, phenomenal minifig. Look at this armor here. I mean, it's dual molded with translucent ice jutting out the side. The helmet dual molded with ice jutting out the top and on the inside. I mean, this is probably the best wave of minifigs we've ever gotten for Ninjago. I mean, the amount of detail is insane. Vex looks great. I love the maroon on all of these, and then the Ice Emperor kind of stands out with his white and light blue, really hinting at him being Zane there. And then we got 3 different versions of the grunts over here. And then these guys do have another face if you swap it over. Again, these guys just look incredibly zombified, which they were in the show, so a good representation there. And then I think this translucent armor piece is really cool. That came from the Lego Movie 2 line of sets. These came out this summer after that wave of sets. Moving on to Prime Empire, another season that a lot of people do not like. I love it. I love the idea of a video game season in Ninjago. I just think that is a really cool concept. I remember when these suits leaked, back when the minifigs would leak from factories, thinking they were some of the coolest we've ever gotten. I think for what they are, they're really, really special because they're just so different from everything we've gotten. And I have a lot of good memories with this season. I actually made a video called Why Prime Empire is My Favorite Ninjago Season. If you want to know more about my thoughts on it, go check that video out. It's a very special season to me personally, just because of what I was experiencing in life at the time. But these are really freaking weird. There's no denying that. And I just like that. It's something different with the white armor piece. You can like have their health coming up out of their back and it shows how many hearts they have. I think without that plugged in, the piece looks bad because it juts out so much. But of course, the best part about these suits is Lego continued to spoil us and give us new faces for all of the ninja here. Another smiling Lloyd was a bit weird because we just got that. But a goofy Cole is perfect. A scared Kai is perfect. Goofy Nia, perfect. Smiling Jay again is a bit weird, but I'll take it because it's a little bit different from the other one. And you see Nia here coming back to her gunmetal gray origins. Or sorry, not origins, but swap from the Ninjago movie. So interesting to see them swap back and forth. We saw her in the season 11 suits with that. And we continue to see Lego just not know what color to give Nia because they changed it over and over and over again. This light blue is really interesting as well, but I like the white for all of these suits. I think it just looks really, really solid. And whenever I look at these suits, I just smile, man. I love Prime Empire so much. So I'm really biased. Those suits are awesome. We've got the Avatar suits. These are kind of mixed for me. I almost said bad, but I looked at Pink Zane and I could not bring myself to say bad because we finally got Pink Zane, man. These are weird. These three came in arcade pods, Lloyd, Jay, and Kai, which were a really cool gimmick. It was like a little Lego arcade that you could build for 10 bucks. Love Jay's alternate face. I think Jay is really funny. I like his white hair. And Kai with his like yellowish, tannish hair is funny. I wish he held an alternate face though. But this face is perfect for the Red Shogun, which is a personality he embodied for just a little bit in the show. Pink Zane, perfect. Nothing bad to say about that one. Lloyd looks really good except for the torso. I don't know why they printed yellow onto a green torso. That looks really, really bad. Again, I don't know. But the face is cool. He's got tech kind of running down it. And yeah, he's not very happy. He's got a little bit of a tech tee there. Goatee with tech on it. Please excuse my awful humor. As we continue on here, I'm trying to, oh my word, I cannot get this on for the life of me. There we go. The last two are awful. Cole and Nia, they're just reuses of city parts. And these came in the gamers market. They were kind of just throwaway figures, but at least we got like official arcade suits for them. This season saw the return of Harumi, except she was a character in the video game. So that was kind of cool to see. I really liked that. I like this suit. This is basically just Kill Bill. If you know what that is, it's a movie directed by Quentin Tarantino. That's what they were going for with this figure. Same hair and head as the Oni Trilogy one, though. This is Scott. A lot of people thought this was going to be Jay when we first saw the figure. I mean, you look at that face, and it looks like an arcade version of Jay, but it's not. He was a new character. I really like that they used this hidden side hat and hood piece here for him. He's got an alternate face with kind of a camo bandana up. I think this is a really nice inclusion for the figure, though. Overall, love Scott. Okino's a bit bland, but that's what they were going for. I really liked him in the show. I thought he had a really cool arc. The face, I don't know if I love. Okino was never mad like this, I think. And then he's like screaming on the bed. Like, that's the worst part of the figure. I love the new hairpiece for him, though. Dual molded, of course. Yeah, Okino needed a different face, but it works. You know who it is when you look at it, I guess. Next, we're getting on to the villains. Excuse all of the strange camera movement. This is Unagami. I love this design, this new hairpiece. Of course, we saw with Okino, looks so, so good. I remember when I first saw this, that alternate face, I was like, oh, that's Zane. That's gotta be Zane. I mean, look at that goofy smile, the eyebrows. It's not. It was an entirely new character overall. He's the first character in Ninjago to use this newer style of dress piece that connects directly into the legs and not a slope piece. I love how there's printing down onto the dress piece as well. His new beard is really cool. It's just very pronounced. Really solid villain minifig overall. His drones were pretty cool. You know, obliterate the threats to Unagami. If you know, you know. The alternate face didn't really make much sense because they never looked like that in the show, but it's cool to have like an angry version of them. Anyone know what the 404 means? I don't really understand why they have a 404 on their torso. The rats were an interesting idea. I don't know if I love the concept, but I think what they are, they look cool. I like the digital cheese and the potion, and they look strange. They have these brand new head molds, and then they're wearing the same armor piece as the ninja, except just in black. These guys are really weird and out there. I don't fully love the concept of them, but I think as minifigs, they're really cool looking. I mean, you can't deny like this entirely new molded headpiece for the rats. Like, you can't say that's not cool. It is. Tsushimi, this guy was very, very briefly in Prime Empire. He was one of the final villains. I like the chest hair. It's given me flashbacks to movie Garmadon when he was in the jungle. Really, really funny there. And I think the digital stains are a nice touch. Decent minifig overall. And then, again, I don't know if you want to count this as a minifig, but since I counted the robots, I was like, all right, this sushi goblin demon thing that attacks Jay and Nia in the sushi restaurant in Prime Empire. Moving on to season 13, this is this is much less of a controversial season than seasons 11 and 12 were. I love season 13 as well. I'm really just a big fan of the Wild Brain era, which is probably going to get people yelling at me in the comments. But the Wild Brain era was just a lot of fun in my opinion, and I have a lot of good memories. I really like these. These are like them as knights almost. I mean, the mask is an entirely new piece. The armor is an entirely new piece, and neither of these would ever come back. What we've seen a lot from Ninjago is they'll constantly reuse new pieces that they'll introduce, like these ninja hoods. But these were made specifically for this season here, so I really, really do appreciate that. I think the only suit I don't like is Zane's. I think the gold really clashes with this light blue down here. I just don't think it looks very good. But again, same Ninjago movie face prints we've been getting for quite a while now for all of these. But a really solid wave of suits. I just like how different they are. And I think that's what the Wild Brain suits are really characterized by, is just how unique they went with the suits. And even if you don't like them, I feel like that's something you can still respect and appreciate. If that makes any sort of sense at all. We have Battle Wu here. I love that he has armor on. This just, again, feels like an armored up version of the season 11 Wu, and that's exactly what they were going for. So Lego really nailed it with that one. He's still got the awesome braid piece in the back there. These are Spinjitzu Burst Ninja. So the Spinjitzu Burst is exclusive to the elemental power of Earth here. So obviously the Kai and Lloyd doing Spinjitzu Burst are non-canon. Their elemental powers don't work like that. These are fine. The legs are all prints from Legacy, the next wave, which you'll see. So interesting to see that. I like the face prints underneath though. Like, it feels like fire's kind of flowing in and out of his veins. Cole's has a really good face print, and so does Lloyd's. Again, the only thing exclusive are the faces and the torsos here. These are fine for what they were. The Spinjitzu Burst little sets they came with were really weird, and I don't think they sold that well. But an interesting concept, but it just doesn't really make that much sense in comparison. I really just think they should have made Spinjitzu Burst cool. And I don't say that often. I'm sure you've heard me many times throughout this video saying, complete the suit collection, complete the suit collection. They didn't need to do that here. They should have just thrown a Spinjitzu Burst cool in the sets. But just my opinion. We have some Geckles and Munts. We originally thought these were going to be villains. They turned out to be neutral parties, and then they did eventually assist the ninja. The Munts are using these Dragon Hunter pieces, just in a different color, and I love that they're sand green. They look really cool. The Geckles are cool enough. I think my only issue with the Geckles and Munts this wave is that we only got 1 or 2 variants of each. I think we needed more uniqueness and personality from them, but I do love getting this molded goblin ear headpiece here, which was introduced in a CMF series a few years prior. We got the Skull Sorcerer, and this guy is the main villain from the season. He is honestly one of my all-time favorite villain minifigs. I think he could have been maybe the best, but they really messed up with this mask piece. It looks nothing like it does in the show. He has like a mouth in the show, the eyes are glowing. I get that there's limitations with how things work. I mean, this is all one piece, but I think if they were going to make it look like that in the show, you should have made the minifig look like that too. The Skull of Hazadur is really nice to see here. It's a reuse of the Legacy skeleton piece, but it just looks way better like this. I love the torso. I love that he has wings. And the Skull Sorcerer as a villain is just so fun, man. Like, he's just a cliche generic baddie, but LEGO knew exactly what to do. They made him just really, really cool looking. They gave him sorcery powers. Like, the guy's just fun. And then he has an army of undead skeletons that he controls with the Mask of Hazadur. The last minifig we have to look at for Season 13, Master of the Mountain, is Princess Vanya. I really liked her as a potential love interest for Cole. I wish that they had stuck with that. Personally, I would have liked to have seen Cole and Vanya a little bit more together. I think they had great chemistry. The minifig's really cool. It's interesting how this hairpiece is from Friends, but it's just recolored in gold. She has an alternate one where she's smirking like that. Very reminiscent of Vanya, and I love the white skin. I think that's a really unique look for her. I think the one thing missing from the Master of the Mountain wave was just a generic King Vangelis outside of the Skull Sorcerer costume. And that's something we'll probably never get, which does make me a bit sad. I think they could have thrown that in, maybe in the Skull Sorcerer's dungeons, you know, have him like locked up in a cage to kind of subvert expectations, because LEGO's done that before, to, you know, make things in the set different than the way what they are in the show. But anyways, let's keep moving on. We got another wave of Legacy sets to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Ninjago at the beginning of 2021. These are all really cool to see. These are a mix of the rebooted and Tournament of Elements suits here. These are all really, really good. Samurai X got a new variant, same leg, same helmet, everything. The only thing that's different is the torso. A little bit strange. She came in the Destiny's Bounty, as did this Lloyd Garmadon down here, this young Lloyd remake. I love the face print on him. I think it looks so good, and we saw that in the Ninjago City Gardens set as well, which was a huge deal for fans when it came out because everyone loved the Ninjago City and Ninjago City Docks modulars. So to get another one, what, 3 years later, was really nice. And he has this newer, kind of more flexible type of cape back here. Both are solid minifigs. Love getting the young Lloyd hairpiece here too. We got a couple of new casual ninja. Jay is a new torso print with the smiley face reminiscent of his Season 11 suit. But Cole and Nia just use generic city torso prints and legs, which is kind of lame, but whatever. You know, it's another good way to get their hair pieces. This Golden Zane we'll come back to. Moving on, more characters from Ninjago City Gardens. We got Clutch Powers. Why not? Bring him back if you didn't get him back in 2019. I don't mind that one bit. Brand new Misako and Ronin, which I was very excited for at the time. I like that Misako is basically the same. She just has a coat on. I think that's kind of a cool way to update her. Ronin I'm mixed on. I love the torso and legs, but the head, in my opinion, is horrendous. I don't think... Why did his stubble color change? Like, what? His stubble was orange. And the smirking smile just, it doesn't feel like Ronin to me. And they did change his character in the show, so that's probably why they redesigned him here. He became a villain in the show, whereas he used to be kind of more an anti-hero. But it is what it is. I'll take a new Ronin minifig, as he is my favorite Ninjago side character. We got the Master Chen Noodles mascot. I think this is really funny. He's got the winking face there. Really cool to get this after so long of seeing this guy on the outside of Master Chen's noodle house, kind of, you know, welcome in, you know, with the noodle bowl. And then we just got this random robber on the side here in the Ninjago City Gardens. We'll see that with these guys over here, just some random civilians they threw in. None of them have exclusive parts, but they are officially Ninjago minifigs because they came in Ninjago sets. Do I like them? Not really. I prefer the Ninjago movie type of citizens where they had, you know, torsos, legs, heads, bamboo hats, everything that felt more like something we'd see in Ninjago. City. Continuing on with Legacy. Legacy Izor here. Very cool to get an updated version of him. I think he looks really good. I like this snake tattoo up there. And then getting the Mohawk piece is always very much welcome. Golden Zane here is quite an interesting figure. He is in figure we had never gotten before. We got Digi Zane, Digi Kai, which is another version of this, back in 2017, and then we got this guy in 2021. We're still missing Digi K, Digi J, Digi Cole. Man, I'm tripping over my words here. Been recording for far too long at this point. But those two figures still have not been made. So hopefully one day, this one I think I have issues with no leg printing to match up with Kai. And then he didn't have a golden half mask, which is what they had in the show. Still nice to get the torso at least. I just really hope we get Jay and Cole, please, eventually. This new Overlord is interesting. It's a new torso and face print. He looks a lot more evil here. He kind of just looks like a ghoul just floating around a lot more than the other one did. Another Nindroid, because why not? They have so many of them, just throw them in. And then we got a Legacy Ghost here. This is the only one we got. I think this is supposed to be Gultar, just based off that face print. I was really excited to get more of these Legacy Ghosts, and then Legacy got canned because it wasn't selling well, apparently. Getting this Ninja Mask piece in a dark blue and purple is really cool, though. We got the Mechanic. Really cool to finally get this figure. He was in Sons of Garmadon, and then he came back for Prime Empire, so to get him was really nice. He's been important in the show. Dual molded legs is really, really good, too. And then we're moving on with the Legacy figures. We got more snakes. Hypnobrai this time. I feel like they had plans to give us Fangpire and Constricti Legacy versions, but since Legacy got canned, we'll just never get to see them. Just a personal theory, though. These guys are cool. This one is very interesting. This figure is actually quite expensive because he only came in the Legacy Ultrasonic Raider, which didn't sell well, which means there aren't very many copies of it on the market. This is a little robot dude that came in the Ninjago City Gardens. Really clever building techniques here. And I like the little construction hat on top. I think that's very, very funny. Moving on, LEGO continuing to give us fans what we want, make our dreams come true. They gave us more Elemental Masters. We got Belobo, Gravis, and, oh man, I'm forgetting his name. Jason, maybe? No, I don't know. You can correct me in the comments. I think Belobo's perfect, except I don't think the face works for him. They used Jack's face from Hidden Side. I just don't think it matches everything very well. Gravis, perfect. I love his alternate face, where he is, kind of meditating, floating in the air like he does in the show. And then, of course, the Master of Sound looks great. I love his star glasses, and getting this afro piece is super nice. Alternate faces for all of them is really great to see. Continuing with the Legacy stuff, we got these 10th anniversary celebratory golden ninja minifigs, and these were so, so cool, very desirable. They were each placed in a different set, so you had to buy the entire waves to get them. They're all remakes of past Wild Brain suits. We got Season 11, Season 12, Forbidden Spinjitzu Season 11. This guy here, this is Season 13 Cole. This looks to be a remake of Island Lloyd, which hadn't come out at the time, but they look very similar to me personally. And then Master Wu is just Season 11 remake. And then Nia, I'm not quite sure. That torso and legs does not remind me of any other seasons, and it's hard to tell with her hair being out, so I'm guessing it's just another Island celebratory figure. Getting the Prime Empire helmet piece here in gold was actually really cool for me. This just looks awesome. These figures are phenomenal. It's just everything I ever could have wanted from a golden Ninjago subline of Ninja, because again, it's only ever been Lloyd who's been golden, so to get all of these was really cool. And then Harry Potter went and copied it for their 10th anniversary. You know what they say, Ninjago's the best theme, man. Everyone's just copying them. But these guys are, I don't know how much they're worth right now, but I think as time goes, they're going to end up being worth a lot because they're going to be very desirable, and for good reason. Wrapping up the Legacy stuff here. These guys were weird. These came in like epic battle packs, I think they were called. And it came with one of the ninja and then a villain to fight them. These are the weirdest ninja suits we've ever gotten. I mean, Jay looks like a zebra. Cole looks like he's like a mummy underneath. Zane just looks full robot here, like no clothes, just full robot. And then Kai's actually looks kind of normal. But these were weird. That's why I like them. I think Ninjago has a lot of samey stuff, so to get something different here was nice. I like their gloves too, just kind of standing out and being unique to each one of them. So yeah, pretty solid figures in my opinion. And then the final Ninjago Legacy minifig that we'll probably ever get, as much as I hate to say it, is this here, Possession Zane, with the brand new Ninja Mask pieces. I guess they're not new anymore. They've been around for a while. I think this is a really clean, simple remake of the Legacy line for Possession, and I really wish we had gotten the rest of the Ninja suits for it. It's just, man, I'd be tossing and turning in bed at night sometimes just thinking about the fact that we could have gotten a full line of these. We could have gotten a Legacy Possessed Green Ninja, but that was sadly taken away from us. Moving on to, you guys can argue about this in the comments. Is it season 14 or is it a special? It's the Island. Personally, I don't consider it a season. It's more of a special, like Day of the Departed. I love the Island. A lot of people hate the Island. I didn't like it at first, but once I got used to the fact that Ronin is just a different character now, I just loved it, man. It's just fun. It was really cool to get a wave of sets in January with Legacy, and then straight away, 2 months later in March, we got all of the Island sets here. And the figures to coincide with them. Something very strange about the Island sets is that these guys here were not villains. They were actually a neutral party. So even though the sets depict the ninja fighting them, they weren't fighting them in the show. It just really reminds me of the Geckos and Munts, because the sets depicted the ninja fighting the Geckos and Munts. And again, they were a neutral party. But it is what it is. The Island suits look really, really good. The new thing are these bandana headpieces here. Interestingly enough, Nia got a headpiece with a bandana on it for her golden variant, but this figure didn't. The actual canonical version in the show does have this hairpiece, though. She doesn't have a headband. Zane doesn't have a headband just because it wouldn't make sense. His hair's too short. I think the headbands look really good. We've seen them multiple times on minifigs since, except for Cole. He's only ever had a headband with this minifig here. So yeah, if you don't have this minifig, you don't have Cole with a headband, which is really strange, especially since the tournament wave of sets we just recently got didn't have bandanas on them. So these are the 4 figures, the 4 final figures we got for the Island. This is Chief Momentous, and then these are just some of his warriors. These guys are freaking awesome in my opinion. I love this light lavender color. We've never seen that in Ninjago, and we haven't seen it since. So these guys really stand out in that regard. This guy is just kind of the most generic one with the bamboo hat on. But this guy here has this really cool island mask on. It's like a tiki mask. There's how that works. It was a brand new mold for this figure. I love that so much. It's just the detail is incredible, and it really reminds me of a lot of the older like Pirates Lego sets where they were visiting kind of the islanders. It's really cool stuff. Chief Momentous has a brand new mold for this crown here, which is, again, incredible. Lego went all out, dual molded, printed. It looks incredible. I love his cape too. It's the spongy cape. And then this guy's really funny. He has 2 heads stacked on top of another. I mean, who wouldn't find that funny? Moving on to the actual season 14, Seabound. These suits were pretty hated at the time, and I don't think anyone's come around on them. Personally, I like them. Again, I like pretty much anything Ninjago except for the next line of figures that we'll get to. These were fun. Again, the Wild Brain era did weird suits. And if you hate them, you can still respect them because it's something different, at least. These are Scuba Ninja. I never thought we'd get this, but this is a unique piece here. And then the way this works is this is a whole sub piece that sits on their neck, and then it connects all the way down to their legs. This is a very strange way to do this. I think Lego really could have just given the Ninja a utility belt and then made the scuba piece its own thing. I think the biggest problem with the scuba piece is it doesn't even really cover their mouth. Like Kai's mouth's still kind of poking out. So that's a bit strange, but the mask piece is cool, dual molded with goggles on it. These are cool suits. I like getting different things for Ninjago because we always, you know, at the end of the day, they're all ninja suits. But these are scuba suits. I think that's really cool. Nia still, you know, can't make up her mind on whether she wants to be gunmetal gray or light blue. She keeps going back and forth on them. But yeah, good figure regardless. We're at the point, though, where LEGO has just completely ditched the maroon for Nia. Personally, I'm kind of mixed on that. I liked the maroon, but also that, I don't know. This is just who Nia is now, the light blue and gunmetal gray. We didn't get a ton of villain figures for this season, at least in terms of uniqueness. We got a ton of these guys, the M-A-A-R-A-Y, Mare, I think that's how you pronounce it, guards. And these guys are just that one snake from season 11 in a different color. Again, snakes. It's starting to get a little tiresome, but it kind of makes sense. Underwater snakes. This is glutinous. His torso is exclusive. That's the only thing that's exclusive about him. And he kind of like runs around on these crab legs, which is kind of funny. These warriors are fine. I like the teal. I think that's the only thing that sells me on them. If they didn't have teal, I wouldn't like them. Benthamar is not a villain. He is actually brother to Kalmar over here, who was the villain. Really nice to get Benthamar because sometimes we don't get side characters from the show who are important. But we got him, which I was really thankful for. And I like his alternate face. This can kind of be when he's, you know, screaming when his dad is killed by Kalmar himself. He kills his own father. Very dark moments in the show that I'm surprised made it through. But Kalmar is great. He's got a brand new headpiece here. And then this leg piece here, which is like octopus tentacles, completely new for him as well. And this is a big piece. Ninjago really gets good molds for their new minifig parts. And I thought this guy is really awesome. And then the final two minifigs we have for Seabound are a Woobot. Cool, I guess. This guy came in the Hydro Bounty, which goated Ninjago set. That's another hot take of mine. And then the other minifig we got is NRG Nia, I like to call her, because this is her reaching her true potential and becoming one with the sea. The hairpiece, my lord, is incredible. It's sparkly and translucent. And it's dual molded with this darker blue. And I think this face, unfortunately no alternate face print, which is a little sad. But I think this face looks so good. And she came with a bunch of pieces to put on her, like water was flowing everywhere. But one of the best minifigs we've ever gotten from Ninjago, in my opinion. I think just looks so good. I love the wave on her torso and the water. Just phenomenal minifig. All right, moving on to a wave of Ninjago sets and minifigs that I am not particularly fond of. Ninjago Core. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people like Ninjago Core. It was more geared towards kids. All the builds were kind of 4+, 6+. And the minifigs kind of went along with that. The only reason I like the core suits now is because they're canon to the show, because of Dragons Rising. So thank you, Dragons Rising, for making them canon. Before, they never were. I think the worst part of the suits, though, are the legs, because they look fine with printing on them from the front. But when you turn it around, it's so jarring to have, like, you know, all black and orange and then just tan. And again, with Kai, it's so jarring. I just think it looks really bad. It doesn't look as bad for some of the other Ninja. I think Lloyd's kind of jarring, too. But just something I wasn't a fan of. And then we got these Ninja Mask pieces in kind of some more, I don't know what the word for the colors are. Lighter, maybe? You kind of got a little bit of yellowish orange for Kai. Yellow for Jay, that was a first. And that's something we would see a little bit more of in the future. But overall, the only reason I like the core suits is because they're canon to the show now. I think they're just okay, but they're definitely on the bottom tier of suits we've gotten from Ninjago. And then Master Wu got a new suit. I actually do quite like his. I think it looks pretty good. I like the gold and the tan, really giving me Air Jitsu flashbacks all the way back to 2015. Pretty solid minifigure that is also canon to the show now, thanks to Dragons Rising. The worst part of core was the villains. Snakes. Again, what is this, like the 10th time? Like, can we not come up with a new idea? It's just, and they're orange too, like the Constricti, and they're reusing this same headpiece that we've already gotten multiple times. A lot of people refer to these as Geo Whippers, so that's what I'm going to call them too. You got like a small Geo Whipper, fun-sized Geo Whipper, I guess I should say, reminding me of Mindroid. We got, you know, just a generic foot soldier, and then we got like a brute Geo Whipper with like these big fists. It looks like he just punch right through you. This one is cool, I guess, but I like the, you know, the more gray, gunmetal gray centric printing on the head, but as a whole, snakes again, really. For the core suits, we got these powered up Spinjitzu versions, These are weird to me. I don't know why we only got 3. I think the only good part, I don't really like the torso prints, to be quite honest. I think they all look too samey. I like the head prints underneath, though. They're translucent. Jay continuing with that yellow color, which is very strange. I think Kai's is my favorite out of these. I really like the smirking face there. But interestingly enough, these 2 head prints would be used for the Ninja's dragon form for crystallized. And since Cole and Zane didn't get a dragon form, they would make new faces for that. The final core minifig we have is going to be another Woobot. Why? I don't know. Why not, man? You know? Woobots. All right, let's move on to crystallized. This is arguably the most divisive Ninjago season of all time. In fact, I don't even know if you can argue it at this point. A lot of people hate this season. A lot of people love it. I'm kind of in between. I like the season. I don't think it's awful. I don't think it's great. But I have a lot of fun with crystallized. I think there's a lot of fun to be had. This was a wave that gave us 3 variations of suits, which again, we don't see very often. We got kind of the regular suits here. These are the ones without gold on them. I think they look pretty solid. This was supposed to be like a finale for Ninjago. These look really good for kind of the end of this era, at least. This is the end of the Wild Brain era. I really like the symbols on their masks. Yeah, I like these suits. They're pretty solid. I don't think they're amazing, but I think they get the job done for what they're trying to do. And then we move on to all of the golden suits for the Ninja in this wave. These look way better, in my opinion. I like them with all the gold details. I think it's a cool concept that they just like threw on some gold armor to the other suits. Of course, since Nia, you know, kind of died in the last season and now she's back, she doesn't have her powers. So she's Samurai X once again, except she's integrated her new color scheme of gunmetal gray and light blue. I like this figure quite a bit. I like this new piece up here for the samurai horns. Of course, just the same Nia face, if I can get the helmet off, that we've seen 1,000 times under there. And then we get to probably my favorite figure in the wave, except for the Crystal King, is Oni Lloyd over here. I think this figure is incredible. I love the printing on the Oni mask, and then he has this new helmet that doesn't let the Oni mask push all the way up, which looks really, really great. I love all of this gold for him. I think the only problem with this figure is it's inaccurate to the show. He had 4 arms. But as a figure, if you're not comparing it to the show, this is really freaking cool, man. Wu got a new minifig, and again, he's all covered in golden armor. I love the flag at the back. This is the dragon armor from Hunted, reused here. This is the last time we'll see Wu with a braid, which is a bit sad as someone who really likes the braid. But again, this whole idea of throwing golden armor over their suits they already had before, I really, really like. This is Oni Garmadon, again, inaccurate to the show because he had 4 arms, but as a figure, he looks very, very cool. I like the Oni mask. I love that smile on there. I think that's cool. And then he just kind of got that generic Legacy Garmadon face print underneath. Could have been a better figure, though, with 4 arms. I mean, Garmadon with 2 arms is just weird in this form. We haven't seen evil Garmadon with 2 arms since 2011, so very interesting there. Last 2 crystallized figures for this base plate. The rest had to be moved to the other because there wasn't room. But Skylar's back without leg printing for some odd, bizarre reason that I can't even begin to understand. She looks awful without the leg printing, but getting Skylar back was great. I love this angry face with like war paint printed on. That's a really cool idea. And then we just have the classic smiling Skylar face that we've seen in the past. Little Nelson is back. He was actually important to the Wild Brain era, which I'm happy about. I like Little Nelson. He's a cool dude. I like seeing the hidden side hat and hoodie piece reused here. He's got a brand new face print and an alternate face where he's got a mask on. And I love seeing the purple come back with this updated, you know, kind of light blue worked into his color scheme. A really solid figure, and I was very happy to see Little Nelson get a new figure for the first time in a long time. All right, last figure for this base plate is this. This is Future Nia, probably one of the weirder Ninjago figures. She came in a book. Why is this Future Nia? Future J had an old face print. Nia looks the same, except she's using her old hairpiece. Like, what is this? I mean, if you find like an older woman face and hair to put on her, she'd probably look a little bit better. I just don't understand why they didn't just print a new face for her and give her a gray version of this hairpiece, because obviously this is not future Nia. I don't even know what kind of Nia this is. It's the wrong hair. Really weird. The torso and legs are cool, I guess, to finally get, but the execution is questionable at best. All right, and believe it or not, we are on to the final base plate in this video. This is, besides the base plate where I added all the movie minifigures, this one has the biggest change to it because it has all of the new Dragons Rising stuff on it. If you've made it this far, comment down below what your favorite base plate of figures is. Like, if someone would just hand you one of these base plates, which one would you want to be handed? I think me personally, I would choose the first one because that has the most rare figures on it. Plus, I grew up with all of those figures. I mean, Rise of the Snakes, Rebooted, Possession. I think that's the best base plate. But let me know yours in the comments down below. Let's continue on with Crystallized and wrap up the Wild Brain era here. This is the Crystal King, and this is a freaking phenomenal minifig. I've probably used the word freaking too many times in this video, but too late. He has a brand new Oni mask piece here that he uses. This torso, upper torso piece we've seen, but of course this is all new prints for him. I just love the design for this. And then underneath he has this really creepy looking, just laughing, just, you know, like he's hurt someone. I don't know. Really solid figure. Moving on, Harumi is back. This was probably the most controversial point of Crystallized, was bringing her back. Interesting thing about her is her hairpiece is no longer rubbery. It's like a hard plastic. Interesting change. The thing you're going to see with all of these villains that have been brought back is they've been, you know, crystallized. So all of their eyes are glowing purple from the crystals kind of having this power over them. All of the generals here all have the exact same torso print, all of the same leg print, except for these two, Pythor and Asphere, obviously. But the main thing that's different about them is going to be their heads. The Skull Sorcerer's face print underneath, they went the extra mile and changed to purple instead of the red that it was before. So props to LEGO for doing that. I just wished they fixed this helmet piece here. Pythor, great to see him back. Of course, all of these generals here have this brand new crystallized armor piece, which is translucent. I think that looks really, really cool. And as someone who was a big fan of the Wild Brain era, I love seeing all of these Wild Brain villains back, like Asphira, Mechanic, Skull Sorcerer, and then we have OG villains like Pythor and then Mr. E from the Oni trilogy. All really, really cool minifigs. Their interpretation in this season, questionable at best. I think Pythor is my favorite general, though. I love getting Pythor minifigs. And Asphira is the worst because they still didn't give her a snake tail, which makes no sense. Anyways, the Crystal Brutes are really, really cool. I think the reason I'm so forgiving of these is because of how cool they look. I mean, they're pretty much all the same. There's just two different torso prints, and then the heads and legs are the same for all the Crystal Brutes. But LEGO went out of their way to make a brand new headpiece for these guys. I mean, look at this thing. This thing is awesome. And seeing like a ton of these guys marching towards you, like that would be scary. Look at that. These are awesome figures. I think as villains, they work really, really well for Crystallized. The Dragon Form Ninja are very, very cool. Move the camera just to kind of give you a view of all four of them. These are awesome. I love the wings. They have brand new helmet and armor pieces. Kai and Jay here is going to be a reuse of those core faces. But Cole over here gets a new translucent face, and so does Zane as well. These just feel like really just special minifigs for the end of this era of Ninjago. Some of my favorite ninja suits we've gotten. I just love the way these look. I think the wings really complete the look. Just flying them around like this. Really great minifigs and a great way to end off this Wild Brain era of Ninjago. Now, with the Wild Brain era over, LEGO needed time to work on what would be next for Ninjago, so they gave us more core. I was really sad when I saw that we were getting more core. Of course, we got all of the same core ninja suits in an entirely new wave of sets. They just repeated all the suits we got in the first core wave, and then the new villains we got were Bone Warriors. I don't like these. They just look weird. Like, why is there neon green and chains? And I don't know. I think after getting skeletons multiple times, getting Bone Warriors as minifigs just feels a little off-putting. I like this new piece they created for like teeth jutting out. I think that's cool that they try to do something different. Weird that the Bone King's just like red and then there's barely any red on the other guys. I don't know. I don't like the Bone characters here. The only reason they have any sort of value to me personally is because they included them in Dragon's Rising. They made them canon. So good on LEGO for that. Getting Pixel was really, really great. We hadn't gotten a Pixel minifig since season 9. And this one had her hairpiece for the first time. This is just Nia's hairpiece, but recolored. This was the best part of this core wave of sets. And then it's just an updated version of her suit from seasons 8 and 9. She's got a more frowning face here, and then she's got kind of a happy, smiling one over on this side. Both are perfect and just represent Pixel very, very well. We got 2 random student minifigs. I don't know why. Their hair and face prints are not exclusive. They come from a lot of city sets. The torsos are exclusive to Ninjago, which, you know, cool. I don't know why these exist. I thought they were going to be in the show, but they just ended up not. So these aren't really that important to anyone trying to collect Ninjago minifigs. We got Mini Pix, which was a great addition to see. She was from Crystallize. This isn't the best representation of her, but I think they tried with what they had. It's just a sticker on a snot brick with some legs underneath, but it's just some representation of Mini Pix. It is really cool to get. The final core figure we got from that wave was a new Golden Lloyd. Strange, but I'll take it. This one is a little more ornate. It looks like he's almost wearing a cloak with this kind of draping over here. I think this is a cool figure. I like the green gloves. I'll never say no to a Golden Ninja minifig, but this one is just kind of strange. And from there, we move on into the brand new era of Ninjago that we are currently in right now. And I don't know about all of you, but I am absolutely adoring this era of Ninjago. Dragon's Rising was a soft reboot for the show. It starts with all of the ninja missing after a strange event called the Merge. And, you know, it's going to be a multi-season arc story. Currently in July of 2024, Dragon's Rising Season 2 Part 2 just leaked the other day. And that's going to be the only Ninjago content we're getting until Season 3 of Dragon's Rising. But we got all these brand new suits for the ninja here. I really like the way these look. They have brand new mask pieces. They're a bit strange. I've seen a lot of hate for them. I like them. I think the only problem with them is when you want the ninja to have their faces out, it looks like that. And in the show, the mask piece is down. So it's a little unfortunate that that's the way it works. However, I do think the best part of these is that we got brand new faces for all of the ninja. Of course, we got the ones with the mask like Kai has right here. But on the backside, we got brand new face prints, which was much needed. We hadn't gotten new face prints for the ninja in quite some time. And again, as a stop motion animator, I will always take brand new face prints. I think Cole's is my favorite. It just feels the most like Cole. Zane's is great to finally get a face of him just being kind of stern. The only problem is his hairpiece will not cover up his alternate face. Jay's is great. It makes so much more sense in the context that he's evil now. It's also kind of sad. Kai's is great. We've seen him smile before, but whatever. Loy's is good. We've seen him frown, but whatever. Nia's is fantastic. We haven't had one of her just kind of with an excited smile like that before. I really like these suits just because they're so different from what we've seen before, and they just really helped usher in this new era of Ninjago, in my opinion. Moving on, we got Master Wu. This is the same one from the core wave, but he just came in the Destiny's Bounty and the Dragon's Rising wave set, so I included him. In the actual canon of the show, Master Wu is currently missing, and we're not quite sure what has happened to him. Now we get on to the new characters. Now, these are not just side characters. When LEGO introduces new characters in a Ninjago, they're usually just side characters and they'll go away after a season or two, but no. These are new main characters. These are new ninja. We have not gotten a new ninja since Nia, all the way back in 2015, 9 years ago. So we have Eren and Sora, brand new piece for Sora and Eren's helmets here. Eren's is really cool. I like the spikes. And then Sora has the cat ears. I really like these. Of course, with Eren, he can't have an alternate face because of his hair. It would stick out at the back, but I like it. It suits him well enough. I do hope we get more face pieces for him. I think an angry Eren would make a lot of sense for the trajectory he's kind of going on in the show right now. Sora's looks really cool. She has like this powered up version when she's using her tech powers, and then she has this angry version here. But I would like to get some more goofy Sora faces because, again, she's not angry very often. We got these two that came in the Ninjago City markets. So the only thing exclusive about Sora is this hairpiece, which is inaccurate to the show, but I think Lego was still working on the mold for it at the time, so they just used this to kind of tie us over until they gave us the actual hairpiece, which you'll see at some point soon here. Eren, the exclusive part is these legs down here, and then his hairpiece, which was really, really nice to get. Now, these two are very, very strange. They came in a Lego BAM, or Build a Minifigure pack at the Lego store, and these are completely exclusive. New Eren face, Sora face with her actually smiling is huge. Eren kind of chuckling, you know, flashing his pearly whites is nice. Exclusive torsos. Both of these are non-canon torsos, though, which is a bit strange. But again, I'm just happy for these face prints here, and I hope we continue to get more new face prints for Eren and Sora. I just do think it's a bit of a shame that these were only exclusive to the Lego store, and they were only there for like a month or two, so they're a little bit more difficult to get. The other new main ninja is Wildfire here, and I don't know if she's fully a ninja. She doesn't wear a ninja suit, but she's a part of the team. She uses this Monkey Kid hairpiece recolored in a dark red here. I think as a character, Wildfire has really grown on me a lot. I didn't like her at first, but I'm liking her a lot more now, and I think her figure design is pretty solid. Again, the thing they're doing with these Dragons Rising figures is making them stand out from a lot of what we've gotten before, and I think Wildfire does that flawlessly. Now, something that is not new is getting strange gimmick spinners, but only for a few ninja. Nia, Kai, and Lloyd here got just random Spinjitzu spinners. The only exclusive parts are the torsos, and then the helmet pieces here with prints. That's the only time we'll ever see these helmet with prints. And this is also the only wave we ever see this armor-helmet combination. Very, very strange. Yeah, I don't really like these figures, but they exist. Moving on, we've got Baby Ryu, which I'm sure has been a huge hit for Lego. He's very, very cute here. This first wave of sets is the only time he's a baby. He does grow up after this, but really nice little figure here, and he's very, very cute, of course. Now, the main villains for Dragons Rising Season 1 was Imperium here. Empress Beatrix was their leader. I like her hairpiece quite a bit. They all have brand new armor pieces. As a minifigure, Empress, Beatrix looks really solid. I think she really could have used a cape. But for what she is, you know, she kind of has the elements of a cape kind of draping across there. As a minifig, she's really solid. I like that she has an alternate face, too, where she's a little more relaxed. As a character, I really disliked her. She's just a cliche, generic villain. We got Raptin over here. I actually liked Raptin. He's funny. He's a bit of a goofball, which, you know, is a classic Ninjago staple at this point. His alternate face is cool. I like his gold teeth on the bottom. And then we got the man himself before we knew he was going to be, you know, kind of the main villain of Dragons Rising. We have Lord Roz. This is a good figure. He has a brand new head mold here for his tiger head. The only problem with Lord Roz is that they didn't print his teeth, and this is a problem we saw back with the Crystal King minifig as well. Both of them have white teeth in the show. I think it's much more of an issue with Roz because he kind of just looks like a blob in the bottom half of his face here. It's hard to tell where his mouth is. I hope eventually Lego stops cheaping out and prints the teeth, or at least paints teeth onto him. I think that would look a lot better. But this one does have arm printing, which I really, really like and appreciate. Unfortunately, a lot of it is hidden under his armor, though. But if you remove it, you can get a bit of a better look at it. Overall, a really solid minifig. It would just benefit a lot from some white paint on his teeth. Now, the generic villains we got for Imperium, Lego decided to give us 4 different variants, which I'm very appreciative of. These are the commanders. These are the generic soldiers. Interestingly enough, these 3 are very easy to get. This generic gold soldier, which, by the way, this is the one that appears most in the show out of all 4 of these. There are like battalions of these guys. He comes in one set, and it's a $110 set. I don't know why, so as a figure, he's worth 10, 20 bucks. Why are you giving us these three, the least common ones in the show? I don't know. It's just a very strange choice. I am glad to have that much variation between the villains, though. This was the spirit of the temple here. This came in the Temple of the Dragon Energy Cores. I really like the little ghosts floating on his torso, and they're kind of like smiling at you almost. I think that's a cool detail. And then this is him when he's kind of, you know, hasn't been brought back to life yet. He just looks more like a statue when he's like that. Really cool minifig, though. Moving on, Dragons Rising did something for Ninjago that we haven't gotten a lot, and that's given us desirable characters. Detective Zane, finally. He was huge in Prime Empire. I am a huge noir detective movie guy, so getting a Detective Zane figure was a dream come true for me. I love the execution here. Really, really good. And it's a nice new Zane face there where he's kind of doing a goofy smirk, which fits the character perfectly. Blacksmith Kai kind of sucks. This is just a reuse of a castle and city torso and leg print that we've gotten before. Wrong hairpiece. This is not accurate at all to what he looks like in season 1, or sorry, the pilot episodes. But at least they tried, I guess. Moving on, we got Dareth. We got the brand new Dareth that we saw both in the Oni trilogy and seasons 11 through 15, the Wild Brand era. So to get him here was great. I love this alternate face where he's singing. This face was first introduced in the Downtown Diner set, but as soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's Dareth. So really nice to get him here. We got Hound Dog McBrog, which I've seen a lot of people say we should have got the Commissioner instead, and I agree with that, but at least getting Hound Dog was cool. He was probably one of the best parts of Crystallize. I like the alternate face for him, where he's a little more calm. I think Hound Dog's a great character to get, but I will agree that the Commissioner is more desirable. But I'm just not going to complain when we're getting figures like this. I mean, look at all these figures we've always wanted. Gale Gossip and, oh man, I'm forgetting his name, Kenny, I think it is. These have been wanted for a long time. Gale's hairpiece is the wrong hairpiece, but the mold for it is no longer in LEGO's rotation, so I understand why they didn't make it. They tried the best they could. Again, alternate expression for her is great. He looks great. I think it's, yeah, Kenny. I don't know. He has an NGTV written in Ninjargon on his back. I actually know what that one says. Racer 7 here is a weird figure. The head and hair are accurate, but she's like got a Bionicle torso, which for Bionicle fans, more power to you. That's super cool. I never grew up with Bionicle. I still think Bionicles are cool. I would have liked to have gotten a more accurate Racer 7 to what we saw in Prime Empire, but, you know, I'll take this. Camille is probably the most exciting figure from the set. She's the final Elemental Master we needed from the Tournament of Elements. She doesn't have an alternate face print, but I think the face works. I love the hairpiece. I don't know. I'm a happy man. We got Camille finally. So I'll take it. Then we have Misdemeanor here. She was huge in the Wild Brain era. So to get her was nice. Again, the Ninjago City Markets delivered so well on minifigs. I think it's probably the best Ninjago set for minifigs of all time, just because it gave us so many we'd always wanted. So Misdemeanor, really nice to see her. And then Cyrus Borg, finally! We've been waiting since 2013 to get just an actual Cyrus Borg minifig in his wheelchair and everything. I'm so happy that he's here. No alternate face expression, but that's okay. This one works just fine. I think maybe a scared facial expression would have been nice, but I can't even complain, man. We got Cyrus Borg. Finally. We got a Borg Tech employee, which is basically just Apple, but in Ninjago. I like her hairpiece. This torso is very massable if you want to make like a Borg store or something. Or you could make like a Borg Tower mock, and these torsos could be what everyone wears there. This guy's cool. He's got an exclusive torso print. Fits in well with Ninjago. No exclusive pieces for either of these guys, just city parts, but they came in the market, so it makes sense to fill out with civilians. I like this dual molded baker's hat and hairpiece there. My voice is really starting to go. We're almost done. We're so close. We've got another couple of civilians here. I like the sand green for this guy. He has like a hearing aid, which is cool to see representation like that in Ninjago. Nothing exclusive about the kid. And then this guy actually has sashimi on his torso, the guy from Prime Empire. So really funny reference there that not a lot of people will get, but I noticed it. This is Samurai Lloyd. This was the final figure we got for 2023 from Ninjago. A very strange choice. But, you know, he's all right. I don't know why he needed to exist. He's not canon or anything, but, you know, I don't mind that he does exist. I just think there are other figures we could have gotten that would have been a lot better than Samurai Lloyd. But it's a new Ninjago figure, so I will always take it. All right, moving on to this year, 2024. These are all of the mech pilot suits. These I actually very, very much like. I'll give you a little farther back so you can get a look at all of them. These look really, really good. They continue with the new Dragon's Rising faces. So if you want kind of the kabuki mask almost looking thing over their eyes, you can do that. That look is not canon to the show. I don't know why it exists, but I think it looks really cool, so I'm not complaining. New mask pieces for the second wave in a row. Very interesting. I like them. I don't like them as much as the legacy mask pieces, but I'm glad to see this style come back. And then the armor is just recolored in gold for them there. This is an all right wave of suits. They really grew on me at first. I didn't like them from the leaks, but having them in hand, I like the gold detailing. It's not over the top. It's very, very subtle, but I think it looks very nice. Now, continuing Ninjago's problem of weird gimmick figures, we have the Rising Dragon Technique minifigs here. These make 0 sense canonically. The only exclusive part is the mask piece. It's just because it's got some gold in it, and we only got it for 3 Ninja. Nothing else is exclusive. They bring back the old ZX shoulder armor, which has been around for an eternity now in LEGO's printing or molding factory. Yeah, I don't know why these exist. The sets themselves weren't that bad, especially because they came with a villain for these to fight too. So 2 figures for 10 bucks. I mean, good for kids, but really weird inclusion. Then we hop over to March. I'm gonna keep my camera at the best angle I can here. We're so close. In March, we got these figures repeated in the Dragonstone Shrine set. I don't know why. Just with their hair pieces instead of the helmet. So a very strange inclusion, but you know, it's nice to get more Ninja headband pieces. Master Lloyd, phenomenal minifig here. I really, really love this one. New, so this is actually a new color for the headband piece. It's just a lighter green instead of the darker green that he's always had. I love the white here. It's not something I ever expected to see on a Lloyd suit, but I think it works shockingly well. The new Master Wu minifig here is interesting because he's not in the show right now, but I love how this thing looks. This is the most tan he's ever had, and I think it looks phenomenal, especially if you take the beard off. You can see all that extra printing. You can see that dragon symbol there. One of the better Master Wu minifigs. I don't know if it's actually canon or not. I don't know if the flashback with him and Bonzel, if he was wearing this suit or if it was a different one. But yeah, really great suit. We have the new version of Wildfire, which came in the March wave of sets, but she wasn't in this outfit in the March. I guess it didn't come out in March, but Season 2, Part 1, when all these sets were coinciding with. But she gets it this summer in the tournament wave of sets, and she's in the show wearing this. I love this hairpiece, again, from Monkey Kid, just recolored for Ninjago. I love to see her continuing with this darker red. She did get rid of the sand green she had in her design before, so kind of an interesting choice. I think it works for what they were going for in the show because Kai's gone, so she's kind of the red ninja for right now. And then I love just this little smiling fire guy on the back. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but it just kind of makes me smile. And then I love kind of the rigid detailing. Again, LEGO's printing has just, quality has gone up so much over the years. Euphrasia, exclusive to the Dragonstone Shrine. Great to get the new Elemental Master of Wind in a set. Very, very glad to own her, and I think they knocked it out of the park with this minifig here. Lord Roz looks really great. This is his new outfit. Again, no teeth, which is disappointing. He doesn't have arm printing, but I don't know. I think the figure works perfectly fine without any arm printing. I saw a lot of people complaining that he didn't have it. I think it's fine. He looks really cool. I think the purple is his best color yet. I like it better than the Imperium colors and better than the tournament colors. We got the brand new Master of Smoke Cinder here. Something I could not tell from the initial pictures was that his head was translucent. I think that's a really cool detail. However, the face is kind of lame. I don't think it captures his likeness very well. He's kind of goofing around and smirking and competing with Jordana pretty often. So this face doesn't capture that. But I love the design of this figure. Again, the purple, the dark blue, and the gray all mesh so well. And I love this kind of fuzzy headdress he's got around. And Jordana looks very, very similar to him. She looks great. Again, she was in season 1 of Dragons Rising, so to get her here is nice as she's joined the villain side. And she has an alternate face where she's kind of got her evil smirk going. And then this side is saying, Sora, I'm your greatest enemy. And Sora says, who are you again? And she goes, oh, I'm Jordana, your greatest nemesis. Very funny stuff. We've got these guys who I've already talked about multiple times, the Wolf Mask Warriors. This guy's non-canon. It's literally just the figure, but without the armor and with a hood on. Looks cool. It's nice to see the face like that. I love the glowing eyes. And then, you know, unpowered up that on the back. That's before the Gong of Shattering's been hit. These guys are really, really cool. I love this wolf mask here. It looks so, so good. I don't have anything against these figures. I just think the idea of villain armies being a little more unique makes them more interesting. But in this case, I am totally fine with having an army of just these guys here. Moving on with the March Wave of stuff, these are the climber suits. These are the exclusive suits we got for the March Wave. These ones are very hard to get because most of them only came in the Wolf Mask Shadow Dojo, which is $120. So I have a feeling they'll be going up in value down the line. The best part of these is this new armor piece they introduced. This armor piece is insane. I mean, it's dual molded. I can get the camera to focus. Look at the detailing on that. I mean, specks of gold throughout, and it carries on underneath. This is the most detailed piece I think we've ever gotten from Ninjago. Even just the ridges on the side of the armor, it looks absolutely incredible. Again, LEGO really, really knocked it out of the park with these climber suits. I love how they look. I love all of the ropes across the suits too. I think it looks nice. And then again, season 2 being so, so good. Really, again, sold me on how much I love these suits here. Jace is non-canon as all of his Dragons Rising suits have been up until now. We move on to this summer's wave of sets. And where I live in the United States of America, a lot of these figures aren't even available yet here because they don't release until August. But I ordered them from overseas just so I could use them for some videos. But you'll notice something's really off here. We got tournament suits, but Jay's evil now. This was kind of the big twist that we've been building towards with Season 1 and Season 2 Part 1. Not going to spoil what happens with him being evil in Season 2 Part 2, but I really, really like how this figure looks. This is pretty much everything you could have asked for from an evil Jay figure. It looks great. And then if you put the lightning eyes over, it just makes him look even better. I just adore this figure here. What's interesting about these new tournament suits is they've got brand new armor pieces for the first time in a while, at least in the style that these are in. I really like how they look. They're very reminiscent of Skybound, especially because you can put the 2 swords in the back. And the pearl gold just really gives me Skybound memories here. I like these tournament suits. I think they're pretty solid for what they are. I don't think they're great or anything, but for what they're trying to do to get the job done, I mean, 99% of the time, LEGO makes phenomenal suits for Ninjago. I mean, there are very few waves of Ninjago suits that I dislike. These are really good. I think Cole needed a headband, especially because we've only gotten it in the island. So that was a bit strange. I like that this hairpiece for Nia was finally made canon in the new season of the show. These two look the best to me. I love the brightness of their colors. I think Cole's is the worst in my opinion. I just think the black doesn't look great. Mixed with the other colors here, just the way they did it. But that's just my opinion. Aaron and Sora did not get new minifigs in the January and March wave of sets, but they did for the summer wave of sets. I have seen a lot of people hating on Aaron's suit here, saying it looks really, really bad. I just gotta disagree. I like it. It's simplistic. It's nice. I think it looks really good. Same with Sora's suit. This is us getting her hairpiece, finally. Very, very nice to see. It looks great. It's dual molded. This is just a phenomenal hairpiece here. And they're continuing with her gold arm. So I'm wondering if her arm, like, does she just have a robotic arm? Because her other arm is, you know, out there. So, like, does she just have a robot arm? Like, really interested in if we'll ever get any context on that. These don't have armor pieces like the other ninja did. And I thought that was just LEGO cheaping out at first and not giving every ninja armor pieces. But the truth is, they just don't have armor in this new season. So I'm fully okay with them not having armor in the wave of sets. Mech Suit Cole, quite possibly the strangest Ninjago suit we've ever gotten. Excuse me as I take a drink of water. But really solid suit here. I hated it at first, but after seeing it in the show and having it in hand, and, you know, kind of messing around with him and the mech we got, I really like this a lot more. I think the only issue I have is the mask. I think it should have been white and black, or sorry, white and orange. I think there's no black anywhere on the suit, so it looks a little out of place on the mask here. I think that's the only thing I'd change. It looks like an Exo Knight suit. I've seen a lot of people saying that, and it really, really does. Again, not a bad minifig. I actually do quite like it. I just think, you know, one change could have made it a lot better. Now, the return of Mr. Pale and Tox. So good to see them here. Finally in an official Ninjago set, because we've never gotten them in a Ninjago set before. They were in Ultra Agents. So really nice to see them here. This guy here, Mr. Pale, comes in the Tournament Temple City, which is 250 bucks. Tox comes in a $50 set, so it's a lot easier to get Tox than it is to get Mr. Pale. I'm just overjoyed as a fan to see them back, especially with these updated designs. I think they look really, really cool. Moving on, these two characters here come in the Tournament Temple City. I very much feared that they would have nothing to do in the show, and then people were predicting he was the new Master of Time. I'm not going to spoil anything, but these guys both had decently sized roles to play in the new season, so I'm very, very happy about that. And as an owner of the minifigs, it makes me happy when they're in the show, if that makes any sort of sense at all. Because, you know, we'll get random civilians like this in other sets, and they have nothing to do in the show. So very happy to see that. This figure here, I'm not going to talk any spoilers from Season 2, Part 2, of course, continuing with that theme. As a figure, it needed leg printing. It really needed leg printing, but overall I really like it. It's using the dragon form armor piece, which is an interesting choice. I love it. It just really gives me Echo Zane vibes, just the way the character almost looks rusted, but very, very cool minifig. This is a random civilian from TTC, Tournament Temple City. She's fine, sand green torso. More of this stuff is what I like to see in the modular sets, so to get it here was a little strange. But overall, a solid figure for what it's trying to be, and that's just an Ninjago civilian. These, of course, are the villains for this wave. And the Wolf Mask Warrior over here, we'll get to him last. Lord Ross has returned, and in sparkling fashion with some new arm printing. I don't know, this isn't my least favorite Ross. I think Imperium Ross is my least favorite, but this one I still don't love. I don't know. I think the red and light blue is a bit strange. If you've seen the new season of the show, you know that the red is actually pink, which is really strange that they messed that up on the figure here. But overall, you know, it's another Lord Ross. It's cool enough. Just, again, wish they'd print the teeth. Cinder here is bad. I hate to say it. I really dislike this Cinder figure. I think it looks awful. The ghost tail was, I think, where he went wrong. I don't like how it looks. I think he needed just normal legs, kind of like Jordana had. And this armor piece here, the Shatterspan armor piece, it looks, I hate to be negative, it looks kind of like a knockoff. I think it's the way it's colored and how strange the design looks. I don't know. Again, I hate to be negative with these, but overall, this Cinder figure I'm not a huge fan of. And then he has a new torso print, of course, which the torso print looks really, really solid, really well detailed. Jordana here fits in well with Roz and how he looks. Same face print, and she has this new Shatterspan armor piece, which admittedly looks a lot better on her than it does on Cinder, but I still am not a big fan of how this looks. I think this piece needed to have some coloring rather than just this flat silver color on it. And then the final figure for this over 2 hour long video at this point is this Wolf Mask Warrior. This is the transformed version. Again, no spoilers. I don't love this. I think the aesthetic, the colors, they work fine, but they just look nowhere near as good as the other Wolf Mask Warriors with the dark blue. I just really prefer the dark blue and the purple. I think the red and the purple is fine. The face still is dark blue underneath for some reason. And then they have these really cool new like claw pieces that like explode out of the back. You know, kind of that shatter spin power really giving them a lot to fight with here. I think this is really cool. Great for play. The only problem is it needs to be standing on a base plate if you want it to stand up like the way it is right now. But interesting to see the Wolf Mask Warriors back. I wonder if we'll see them back for a third time next year and what their colors will be that time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As of right now, all of the figures are just sitting in this shoebox here. So let's kind of dump them all out on the table and wrap this video up. Now that's a lot of damage. If you've made it to this point in this video, I just want to quickly say thank you for watching all the way through. If you skipped here, thanks anyways for clicking on the video at least. This has taken me a long time and a lot of time and a lot of money to be able to get this many Ninjago figures here. This is every Ninjago figure that LEGO's ever released. From all the way back in 2011 to now in 2024, this is over 600 minifigures. According to my calculations, about 650 Ninjago minifigures in this massive pile here. And we took a look at each one of them in this video today. So, you know, for the third time, thanks again for watching. I haven't really seen many videos like this on YouTube where someone has every figure ever. To be quite honest with you all, I don't think I've seen a single video besides the one I released last year. So keeping in that fashion, I wanted to update it so that there was a video on YouTube right now that has every Ninjago minifigure ever and kind of just takes a look at all of them. So I feel like this video is really unique in that regard. And I really do feel that all of the time and money I've put into this has really paid off and made for a really cool video, but also a really cool collection to own for myself. If you want me to update this again next summer, a year or two from now, when we have more figures to talk about, of course, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know your favorite Ninjago figure if you had to pick one down in the comments below. I'm not going to pick one. I think that's just too hard. Just kidding. It's choking. But anyways, if you guys have watched this far, thank you so much one more time. Yeah, leave a like. Subscribe. I've spent pretty much the entire day in my room prepping and filming this video. So please share this around. All right. I'll catch you all in the next one.